Salutes. And thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Popcornologist Gabcast. I already have a guest on the panel, Love Zay the Obsession. Hey, Love Zay. Welcome to the Popcornologist Gabcast.
What's up?
I already have a guest on the panel, Love Zay the Obsession. Hey, Love Zay. The Popcornologist. Okay, Love Zay. I already have guests on the panel.
Why is it repeating?
I don't. The Popcornologist. Okay, Love Zay.
I don't know if it's repeating on my end or your end, but yeah, you can hear me.
It wasn't repeating on my end. What you got going on?
Girl, I mean, I heard you, but I was answering and it sounded like it started talking again. But anyways, hello everybody out there. Welcome to today's bill on Cern.
That was weird. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that wasn't going to happen again.
Yeah.
Salutes Divine Warrior.
Salutes Divine.
All right, I'm in traffic, y'all.
Cern, check in with my people. Let's get it. So, did y'all wake up this morning? I guess not if you can't type in the chat. Okay. Well, we just want to know. Everybody's safe.
So, today, July 5th, right? So, what was the talk of the day? The Cern. Dun, 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 dun. Everybody was worried about the Cern. And so today, I woke up just like any other day. No big deal. I did go into a couple of broadcasts that were actually I guess in the control room at the Cern headquarters because, people were sitting around with their computers and it kind of reminded me of like a rocket launch.
Yeah.
Or NASA, like, this big takeoff. And actually, I don't even know if they advertised the time because, and that's my seatbelt, I don't have it on, I'm bad. I don't know if they advertised the time that they were going to launch or I don't know, fire it up or whatever they were going to do. But I think by the time they had the broadcast going, it had already been done. Salutes, humbling myself, the Bomb Mom, 3C. Welcome, you guys. Thanks for dropping in. I have somebody else, Love It 38.
Love It 38 down there too. And salute
4 years. Demon's going to come. Oh, in 4 years, demons. Oh, okay. Well, maybe you want to share with us how you got the number 4. Slow burn. Hey, salute, slow burn. Conversation sunset.
Hey, sunset.
So I did go into some of the other, like the broadcasts, and everybody was just kind of like throwing out some of the same things that we've said about it on Bro Sanchez or on other panels. But some people were just kind of confused. They were like, have we launched already? And so my sentiment to that is that I think it's already been launched pre-today. I don't think they waited for today. Yeah. I just think that, they just like to put the truth out there. Just so you'll still know what's happening. But I think that thing has been launched now. How long? I don't know. But we're all alive. Everybody was scared and in an uproar and trying to figure out what's going to happen. And so far, so good, right?
Right.
Nothing crazy is taking place. Not for me, but I just want to speak for myself. And so has anybody experienced anything weird today? Your internet service is choppy. What's going on? How y'all feeling? Because one thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to keep each other's vibration high. We're gonna have to support each other, and we're gonna stand strong on this.
Well, I know today was a good day for me.
Okay.
Every day, so I'm not sure if that's part of Cern's doing, but I had a wonderful day per usual. With the Cern thing, I just know it was just hot. I guess hotter than usual.
Really?
I was real heated here, picking up on a little bit of extra heat that I didn't ask for this year, but it came. So I'm not sure if that's a part of the whole Cern thing. Also, I feel like maybe that the Cern thing has been turned on due to the incidents that's been going on around the world. I think it already had been turned on prior to, like you said, to today. I think it was just like a good little announcement for today,
Hmm.
since it's after
Hmm.
the 4th of July or whatever. But I feel like they already had turned that machine on. I don't think they tell us anything at the right time, at the right place. Mm-mm.
I don't either. And I think that we've been through enough experiences now to realize that. So if we're really woke and conscious like we say we are, then we should already be ahead of the game. I
Correct.
don't think they waited until July 5th. Probably July 5th of last year, but it
Mm-hmm.
damn sure wasn't today. And so there has still been a series of crazy events going on around the world. My mom was telling me today another event that happened in Gary, Indiana. I think she said it was Gary, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
They were at a block club meeting, and I want to say the number was three guys were shot and killed,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to misquote the number. But I think whenever I add the numbers up to these events that are happening, it's usually the number 3, 6, or 9.
Correct.
It's gonna add up to that most of the time that I've been noticing. And so when she said it immediately, I went to numerology. And so yeah, those numbers were like in sync with the 3, 6, and the 9. And so I don't really know, I can't figure that part out. But I do know that they plan these events, and so that's one thing that I do know. Also, the shooting that happened here in Chicago in O Block,
Shout out to
uh,
Oakland.
3 dead. Okay, yes, 3 dead and 7 wounded. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there you go. 3, 7. So what happened in O Block? That number, what was it, Zay? That number, I
Oh,
think
block.
it was 5.
Mm-hmm.
It was 5. It was 5 for O Block, but nobody died. They were just shot.
And the fun part about the 3 and the 7, that would give you a 10. And if you know anything about the New World Order, the currency that they always flash is the 1010 Phoenix, the rise out of, the burning of. So be very cautious when they tell us all this stuff is going on, because not everything is to be meant physically. Sometimes it's on a spiritual level. And some things are
Hmm.
just pre warnings and cursors for you. Shout outs to T Cortez down there. Also, I see Humphrey
Salutes.
45 Black. Welcome to the
Feel
kingdom.
feel free, you guys. Click the link. You can join a panel. This is the Gab cast. So meet, what do they say? Mikasa Sukasa. Is that how they say it? I don't know. Whatever they say it. What so in other words, my house is your house. Come on in, take your shoes off, grab a drink, and let's talk. So other than that, just a lot of crime happening sporadically here and there in different places here. So it's almost like some of these places you just would never guess. Was it Akron, Ohio, where the guy was shot?
Correct.
Akron. So that's where Sir Drop lives, and he was really
Hmm.
passionate about what had taken place. Chicago is just another day here. So when you hear stuff like that, but I didn't expect the shooting to happen in Highland Park. Now, Highland Park is a very upscale area. That's actually where Michael Jordan had his home, his initial home when he played for the
Hmm.
Chicago Bulls. And so that's the house when he and Juanita divorced. That's the house that she inherited. But that's, if Michael Jordan lived there, you have to know that it's a pretty upscale area.
Correct.
And so nobody expected that in Highland Park, and especially not with a parade going on.
Not at all. Salutes to Flat Out Fudge and Bronze Flat Power God. We see you out there. Remember yesterday I had brung up when Sanchez had mentioned the we being in the Aries and Taurus. Was it
Uh-huh.
Aries? But the connection to that, I was saying it's crazy because in the spiritual realm or in the star realm, they're saying, we're in the bull and the light of the red. The bull always attacks the red. Okay, whatever. And then we think of
Mm-hmm.
all the incidents that happened yesterday or prior this week. Like you said, that was where Michael Jordan resided at, which would be the bull in Chicago.
Huh.
And
Thanks
that's
for pointing that out, Zay.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, so they're doing the ritual right in front of us, and then also with the boy being shot in Akron, it kind of reminded me of the Katy Perry song "Fireworks." And remember, she said, "Baby, you a firework," and they shot him up over 60 times, and it sounded like a fireworks show going off. That's what I was getting when I got that, because all these songs and imagery, they all tell the story. It's just that sometimes it might go over our heads, but I feel like they're showing us where they need our energy to be. So when we bring it back to the Cern thing, Cern to me isn't too much on the physical; it's more on the spiritual level. So if your spirit isn't matching the frequency, then you might be in the clear because you're not being sucked into the Cern portal or whatever they call the Cern nowadays. But other than that, I feel like if you keep your energy good, vibrant, stay away from the media, stay away from the TV, stay away from the low level demons, you should be good. Because other than that, I feel like the more that we play into the stuff is the more that we see it taking effect in our real lives.
Salutes, Big Philly OG in the
Salute,
chat, and
OG.
welcome. Yeah, so let's talk about it because it's a lot of symbolism going on, and so yeah, even with Beyonce, the Renaissance, right? That's her new album. The
Yep.
horse looked like some, I don't know what was that? Did you see the lightning going through the horse?
And then it reminds me of the four horses of the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
So if you remember, Lauren London was on a horse on her last photo shoot with Nipsey Hussle. Beyonce was on a horse. Cardi B was on a horse, and Nicki Minaj was on a horse. That's four horsemen of the apocalypse, and they all was on a different colored horse. And remember, Nipsey died shortly after that photo shoot. Beyonce said, "Don't break her soul." Now, what can she mean by that? And then think about it. The Cern just turned on the Hadron Collider, which is breaking two things, collide them together, and opening up some type of memory out of it, which would be the soul of whatever those items are. So that was very telling of Beyonce to do that. And then also, let's not forget, Beyonce also just performed in the all lime green yellow, what has to do with plasma, time travel, and slime. So it's like they're telling the story in front of us. We just kind of missing the mark, I think. Maker's mark, like the liquor, we drunk on the storyline. We not really getting it. So salutes to Stardust. I see you down there, girl. Salute, salute, salute. Make sure you guys all like, share, and subscribe.
And so I didn't get. I know Drake just dropped an album too, but I didn't get the name of his album. Anybody know the name of Drake's album he
I
just
don't think
dropped?
it. Hold on. What was that? It was. Let me see. Because I'm like, it, honestly, never mind.
Are
Right?
you saying that, or is that the name of the album?
That's the name of the album.
Oh,
But if you listen to what he's saying, it's like you care for a minute and now you don't give a fuck at all. Because remember, his last album was what? Take Care. So now he giving you the honestly, never mind, bitch, go on about your time, and it is what it is after all this happens. So I think that they're talking to us through all this stuff, and we really just missing the point. You got to remember the YG and Tyga thing when they were just dressed up as the white chicks. Um, their video was called Run, RUN, but also you can tie that with the Cern thing. What they on the run from? What's
that's true.
coming? What are they pulling in? You got to remember, Kim Kardashian just got caught last year building an underground bunker.
Wait a minute. Wait. 45 Black. Let's not give any misinformation. He said the last album wasn't Take Care. What was it then?
45 update us, motherfucker. You supposed to be updating us, okay?
Certified Lover Boy. Nah, that sound like your album.
That was his last album. He right about that though.
It was okay. Certified Lover Boy.
So
Okay,
now,
well,
but still, all these is his albums. Take Care, Certified Lover Boy, and okay, never mind, motherfucker, whatever. But if you listen to what we saying, is even with Certified Lover Boy, what did that have to do with? Remember, Drake had got that heart. Drake had got that heart cut into his head, line up, right? And now we talking about Cern. We talking about neuroplants. We're talking about memory being transformed from one to another. We're talking about soul shifting and all this stuff. What you think the Certified Lover Boy was all about?
And let me say, because I just want to reference something that Bro Sanchez said.
Mm-hmm.
He came on one stream one day and he was just like, I'm gonna say something. I think it may make a bunch of people mad. And he said that he feels like now, regardless of all the things he said, that a lot of these celebrities are the ancestors trying to wake us up.
To
Like,
me,
mhm.
if you ask a person like me, I just feel like they're just repeating what we see on hieroglyphs. So it's not trying to wake us up. It's for the niggas that's coming. It's for the people that's coming back, and it's an answer for them. You get what I'm saying? It's like a story that's being told, but I don't think it's no ancestors trying to wake us up through no celebrities.
Yeah, I don't think I feel I ain't really, that don't resonate with me. I want to go with what his first analogy was, not so much that now all of a sudden they're trying to wake us up because they doing a poor damn job.
Okay. They got me out here shaking, twerking, popping, gyrating, and all that. They trying to wake me up. Girl, please, you put me to sleep at night when I was finished dancing. Salute to old tunes. Also, we see you down there.
Salutes Old Tune and welcome to the Gabcast. You guys feel
Welcome.
free to click the link.
Click
Anybody
the link.
that I
Click the link.
highlighted?
Don't be
That I
spurred,
highlighted?
because you're gonna get served. But so yeah, that's what I think is going on right now. I feel like it's a lot of distractions going on, and I feel like everybody's looking every but which way, you know. Even when it comes to the Cern thing, I still tie it in like the food shortages and all the rest of that stuff because I feel like it all plays a major part in it to what's to come. Just because you turn something on today, don't mean it don't have no effects from 3 months from now, 6 months from now. So it's like, you get what I'm saying? I feel like we
Uh-huh.
wait on another rapture, and I ain't talking about the one in the Bible. So this for
Salutes
walking
walking
back
backbone.
from.
Ah, yeah, we said at the same time. Yeah, it's almost like they're throwing everything at us but the kitchen sink, and it's like they
Mhm.
want us to operate in fear. Because when you think about it, everything is going down the tubes. We're talking about not being able to afford gas, the price of food, um now all of these crimes happening every time you turn around. So now what? You'll be fearful to even attend these events. So now what? You just pretty much in the house the whole summer because you're afraid. Because a parade, you pretty um it's like you're not really paying attention, and you're like kind of free out there, and so you're not gonna really pay attention to somebody that'll just pull up and start shooting. And so now that'll make a lot of people hesitant, and just think. And then now we have, after this is over, in the next, which is what, Labor Day, then you start having all the kids that have the parades to go back to school.
Mhm.
So that's going to be, a lot of gatherings. And so I think that it's just promoting a lot of fear.
I think so too. It's really just promoting a lot of fear. I think that's why we're getting the type of music that we're getting right now with the house music and everything. You talking or you on mute?
No, I was talking. You didn't hear me.
Mm-mm.
Fear
I
is
saw
the
your
last
mouth.
thing I said. And then you repeat what I said. So I know you heard me.
Oh. But then, yeah, it must be a delay. But yeah, anyways, but yeah, so I was saying was it got to be some type of fear. I feel like they're trying to trap us into whatever pendulum parallel, whatever matrix they keep talking about warning us of. I think that's what they're trying to trap us into. Hey, Kelly Ray, see you down there, girl. Um, but we can't work and operate out of fear, if that makes sense. I feel like everything that they throw at us, there's always an option that you can take that's not going to affect you in any kind of way. So if gas prices is going up, so if gas prices is going
And
up,
and there are way more people, just being on some of those broadcasts. And I'm a chat person, so I go in the chat. I want to read the chat because I always want to
uh,
know what the mindset of the people
or
is.
even
And
that, like y'all can cook a bigger portion, but invite more family members.
Salutes at Kelly Ray.
And we
Love Day. Did you get bumped off, Love Day?
mm-hmm.
Now, what were you responding to when you just said that?
Well, when you said the operating in fear part.
Okay, so did you hear me when I said that I went into the different chats for the different launches because I just wanted to know. I stepped outside of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did, hang on, let me let the next guest on. I stepped outside of the community because I'm always interested in knowing like what other people are thinking, because a lot of times we get caught up in just our community and what everybody's talking about over there. But to my surprise, a lot of people around the world are concerned about CERN.
Mm-hmm.
And just going
And
off the people around me that are jabbed up, that are oblivious, like the lady in the grocery store this morning when I brought
mm-hmm.
up, she brought up the shooting in Highland Park, and I was like, yeah, and then I was like, well, they launching CERN today, and she's like, what? She's like, what's that? So
It'd be like that.
yeah,
Salute
but
just another.
hey, welcome to the panel 45 Black. What's going on?
Ain't nothing chilling. Same old shit. What it do?
Did CERN get you? Why are you talking so slow?
I guess.
We
Man, the
talking to the
certain shit I
Corona
don't even really
45
know
Black,
much
y'all.
about
This
it.
the Corona
All I
45
hear is
Black.
about black holes and all this extra shit.
Well,
Huh?
damn, I'm trying to figure out that they grab
What
your
you say?
leg or something and sucking you in slowly. You talking like a robot.
Right. Cerned and
Yeah, well,
abducted
I'm gonna come
45
back then.
Black.
He say he gonna come back. It's all good.
So it ain't your mic though, 45. I think it's just you talking slow, friend.
He was talking so slow. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe CERN is working.
Cern done cut on. We done lost 45 Black, y'all. We done lost 45. This is what
I'm going to
Cern
get him.
did.
Let's go get 45. We can't let him get sucked
Yeah,
in
we
into
can't
the
just let
hole.
him get taken by Cern, y'all. We don't know what they gonna do with him. That's too much. Humbling, this is your mission.
Salutes Kelly Ray. Absolutely concerned about CERN. They're definitely doing something. It's really affecting many around me. Very weird and scary. All right. Well, that's the thing, though, Kelly. Please don't operate in fear because then they've won. It's like, they're doing everything they can to scare you. And if they complete that mission, then, your vibration isn't as high. So try not to be
Mhm.
afraid and just try to keep your eyes open and be vigilant and just try to, just understand what's going on. Well, you understand because you know about CERN. A lot of people are clueless.
Yeah, a lot of
Hey,
people are
salute all
clueless
our
about it.
grit and grind.
Salute
Let
all
me
heart.
see. Just another Geechee. Salute.
Salute, just another.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. And so everybody, how y'all feeling about it though? I mean, nobody gave two shits about it. You didn't give a thought about it today.
Well, how are your bodies feeling? Do you feel like, achy? Do you feel like you got energy? How y'all feeling about that? Are you feeling dehydrated? Like, is there any change in your everyday life?
I think they went in my bank account.
Oh,
I do. I'm
They
feeling
took something out?
I'm feeling broke.
Oh, Lord. Nuh-uh. Not Cern done broke you down and broke 45 down? Cern doing too much. We need that money, D. We need that money.
I'm
Cern out here.
concerned about
But I'm gonna need them to
concerned.
collide bank accounts and not take away from them. All right, I need you to collide mine with the bank so I can get what's in the bank. Okay.
I'm concerned about my bank account. That's what I'm concerned about.
Sorry, can you check my credit score while you at it? It's like, But yeah,
Oh
you gotta
man.
stay, on a good vibrational energy. Because think about it. We can hear the news, we can see the news, but the animals can't. So you don't see the animals out here panicking. I'm not about to be a panicking either.
Well, how you know they're not panicking?
Clearly, I don't see them running around sporadically like we in the motherfucking, Jumanji movie.
I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, unless you talk squirrel, but I don't know if they panicking or not because they could be in a
I
way,
don't
and
see,
we don't
I
know.
don't
We
see
just
no stampedes. Now, I have been seeing, the animals that's been getting even with the people that's been doing them wrong. Now I don't think that had nothing to do with Cern. That's just them animals having enough with y'all coming into their territory and trying to mess them over. But other than that, the animals been chilling like I've been chilling.
And I was today, I was like, let me look a little bit more into CERN. And so of course we all know that the guy that created the internet worked for CERN.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking, because me and my son was talking about, I try to talk to him because he says he's not scared, but I think he comes to me for answers. So I think I try, I'll go and research a little bit. So at least when he comes to me, I can, guide him so he's not afraid. But I walked to his door today and I was just like, the guy who created the internet. And I was like, that was the metaverse right there, the internet, that first, yep. Yep, to distract your mind. And then what do? We spend a lot of time engaged in the on the internet. And so that was like the first level.
Mm-hmm.
So as they say, there are levels to this. And so I was just like thinking, because of course the internet gave us Facebook and all the social media, and that was the real beginning of metaverse.
Mm.
That was like the introduction to it. And that's my opinion. But that distraction right there.
I feel the same way. I feel like that's why I said I feel like we in some type of prison within technology. So even when it comes down to the internet, like you said, we locked into it, we glued into it. Our cell phones, we glued into it. Tablets, computers, the whole nine, we glued into it. Even the workforces are now glued into technology. The medical
Mhm.
field glued into it. The police, military, all in technology. So I'm like we can very well be in a black cube. We can't, and I'm saying like we can very be in a simulation type of matrix is being controlled through all this stuff. That's why I said I tend to try to watch what the animals is doing because dogs can show you when a storm is coming, cats can show you when this is coming, animals will show you some shit. But it's like humans, we be out here panicking, and you look around, the animals ain't showing no signs. You got to be more leery when them animals are showing signs, because man can scare you any type of way because man is manipulating you for whatever his own gain is. But that's why
Hey,
that's how.
salute Juicing with Jay. Welcome to the Gabcast.
Salute
Yeah,
you with Jay. That's a nice name too.
yep. Subscribe to him. He's I think he's a part of Stardust's community.
Okay.
Indian juicing, so we can all learn from that. Him and OG get holding it down on the juicing side.
Him.
So Stardust had brought up a good point. So MySpace, they called it that at that time. And so that was just like really blatant.
Remember before MySpace, they had what AOL, Yahoo, and MSN. Black Planet and something else. And all those, like, think about it. See, when I was younger, I never noticed how much access we had to the world, even though I kind of grew up in the internet era of like the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, I was able to like go into like Yahoo chat, MSN chat, or AOL chat and be talking to, I just dropped the link 45, and be talking to, I'll be talking to people from all over the world, like in different countries. You can talk to people in Africa, this, that, and the third. Now, fast forward to today. We doing the same damn shit. We doing the same thing, and that's the crazy part about it. Because back then, it's like we used to think like, oh, like this the best as it's gonna get, and this, that, and the third. Nope. It gets better, folks. Technology gonna keep increasing. This ain't the end of the world at all by a long shot.
No, it's not at all. It's probably just the beginning of what may be the end of what we know. And people, when they think the end, they get afraid that it's just like boom and we're done. I don't think that. It's just a reset. So we're just
Oh,
kind of like in. Hold on, 45 blacks coming.
yep, it's a
Um,
whole new world. So it's like, at one point in time they could have been they were trading corn and rubies and stones. Nowadays, we trading, we got credit cards, cash, checks, you get what I'm saying, cash app and stuff like that. So it's a whole new world, whole new society. I think that's what it's ushering in, especially because I know a lot of religious people out there, but I'm like, you also got to take heed of the fact that it's going into a one world, religion. 45 minutes, like, worry about your avatar. You can't go into a one world religion. So that's what we're going into, and then we're doing the one world currency and the one world government. So I don't like when other people be saying like, "Oh, is this coming back and that coming back?" Not the roach, but I tend to be thinking like, like that's just another fear tactic. Like even the churches are in on the fear tactic. Everybody's in on the damn fear tactic because it benefits them in some type of way.
I go 45 black with the roach again. And so I was talking to the bomb mom today, and like she said, she keeps grounded by not listening to current events, like watching the news and things like that. Which is a way, that's a way, but then again, you may not know a lot of events that are taking place that might be important, but that's one of her coping mechanisms, is not
Right.
to tune in into like a lot of day-to-day world events that are taking place, because they can, if you're not strong enough, that stuff can mentally drain you. Hey, salute Sarada, thanks for joining us.
I agree with that though, because if you think about it, think about the people that still live in the forest and the woods and the rainforest, right? Are they affected by the same stuff that we hear about in the media?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I don't really too much see them coming out
Yeah,
the forest to be like, hold on, 9/11, hold on, BLM, hold on. Like, you ain't never seen them come out the woods to bring up none of these topics. They ain't come out the woods to talk about what's the particles that's being dropped in the air and all that stuff. Chemtrails, they ain't
hmm
come out and talk about none of that. So I'm like, are we the only ones that's being affected due to mass media? Because that came through the Hitler regime, right? Why isn't the rest of the world affected by it? That's why I said I'm more prevalent to watching what nature do. Like, yeah, of course, the birds are going to react, the fish going to react, everything going to react. But we also got to keep in mind too, a lot of this stuff is cloned, so that's why you're not seeing too many reactions through things. A lot of stuff is made through breeding and stuff like that. So it was like you got to be really one with nature to be able to differentiate one from the other, the tariffs from the wheat, right?
Yep, no doubt.
And all y'all religious people should know about that one because the Bible spoke heavenly on it. I'm just saying, I just use it as an example, but we all understand how to differentiate real from fake. And that's the issue right now. All the lines have been blurred, Robin Thicke. You get what I'm saying? They're laying it
hmm
on us thick, like. And it's all confusion. What was that, Paula Patton? Like, it's all confusion. So, and all these people are tied together. That's why I'm using their names together. And the confusion that have you lost forever because you'll never get the answer that you seek in. When really you shouldn't seek no answers. The test is you.
And so, oh, you scared me. So even with the animals, they just slaughtered. I forgot how many. I don't even know if it was cows or pigs.
It's cows.
Was it cows? Was it? I mean, this was just recently though. This last week.
Bunch of dead cows and
Is that you sounding like that?
That
what
ain't me.
happened?
That's 45.
Oh,
I got new headphones and shit.
That's not 45, y'all. That's the copper tone roach that they gave
I
us
was
and
like, what the hell is that speaking?
yeah,
Oh,
they
you
said
got
cows, 10,000 dead cows. And then don't forget popcorn. At the beginning of 2019, 2020 ish, If you go back and look in the news media, you'll see that the government actually had the farmers put their animals down due to what came around at that time because they didn't know how it was spreading. You get what I'm saying?
Well, they've done a lot to the farmers as of lately, offering them money to not produce and different things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a kind of touchy subject, but and just speaking when you said watch the animals in nature, so it's a good thing that you are aware of what's happening, because a lot of people on the sidelines who aren't, will just look at it and say, oh, this is spreading or that disease is spreading, and they're happy that the cows are killed, but we're a little bit more aware, so we understand what's really happening here.
Correct.
It's going to be a shortage.
Correct.
A lot of people don't eat meat, and then along with the shortage, the inflation of the prices, and so those are just be more and more reasons for them to inflate the prices. It's
Correct.
happening when I'm in the grocery store, I'm looking at the prices and they are astronomical.
And you're right. That's why they do problem answer solution, right? Okay, so what it is if you think about it, like you just said, a lot of these animals are being put down. A lot of these crops are being overturned into the ground because of what was going down for the past couple of years. On top of that, you got to remember they've been pushing the going green thing to where everybody's doing the plant based this, that, and the third. But you got to remember the major players in the game: Microsoft, Bill Gates and all the rest of them. They're the ones who are the leaders and the people that's packaging and making the plant based stuff. Also, the ones that's taking over the agriculture farm industry too. And then three, on top of that, all of the major meat industries have been sold to China, the same place that made you okay sick supposedly. So that's what I'm saying. It's the game that they playing on us, and we missing it. We gotta stop falling for the okie doke. So we basically fell for them saying, well, it's okay to slaughter all these animals because if we all go green, we technically don't need them no more. But you got to remember, animals carry vibrations just like everything else in this world. So once you take away the leather and you take away the this and you take away the that, a whole bunch of industries fall behind that also. And the people that's going to benefit from the new industries are going to be the same ones that's pushing the Beyond Meat and all this lab grown stuff.
Yeah, and T Cortez, that's actually the norm. You said somebody paid $1.55 for a green tomato. Yeah, I saw it's avocados that are like $2 a piece.
Hmm.
No, they're $3 here. So can you imagine one avocado $3?
But see, this is when y'all supposed to come together and monopolize. We ain't supposed to be in here talking about the damn price of the green tomato. All y'all out there farming and this, that, and the third. This one, y'all put y'all heads together and say, well, boom, we gonna come up with our own industry. Y'all see where the prices is going. You already got plants in the ground. Why stop now?
Yeah, that's a great idea. We talking about it, but we're gonna have to start being about it. We got some growers in here, right in this community.
Hmm.
Starduster, juicing with Jay. Um, Loves as the cook, so he can cook the food after he buys it from you.
Okay, I can grow too. Y'all don't sleep on me now. Uh-huh.
I don't know, but I do know those two, they're growers, so they may have seeds.
P.
I'm not
Cortez
sure.
too. Hmm.
P. Cortez, yep. So Stardust, do you still have seeds?
Hopefully she still do. That's a thought. Yep. I know that's right. Juicing with J. T. Cortez is a grower. Yep, not a shower. Anyways, what we were trying to say,
See, when
what
they
we were
go up
saying
to
also,
YouTube right there,
shut up.
I
Anyway,
go through this shit every day.
make
You
sure.
know
Oh
how
yeah. Oh yeah.
we
And
keep putting
April
you.
also. April is a grower too. Walking backbone.
Oh, April grows
Okay.
too. So
See,
do
it's
you
so
have
much
do you guys
money to be made, y'all. It's so much money to make. Y'all cannot be scared of what's going on around you because we already took ownership and responsibility of making sure this motherfucker keep moving, right? We can make our own. formula. We can have our own gardens and fruits and vegetables that we sell across the country and across the world. And make sure you collect your seeds because I keep telling y'all, seeds is a currency when there is no currency. People got to eat.
Oh, he has an avocado tree. Oh man, you be wealthy in Chicago. $3 an avocado.
Okay.
That's pretty expensive. So Stardust, are you stocked well enough to sell seeds at this time? Do you have an excess enough to sell? And how about you, juicing with Jay? Because a lot of us, I came over to that community because of Starduster, so that wasn't the my industry, so to speak. So that's what he did. And so now you guys have peaked in interest, and I'm like, I better get on the ball and start growing something. So I might not be able to do any outdoor growing, but I can get started indoors. Not every variety, but you're so connected in that community, Stardust. I'm sure you can point people to the people who may have what you don't have.
Correct. Correct. And that's why the whole word CERN is called CERN because we got to be more concerned with each other and not with that shit that they trying to pull over there. What they trying to pull, it's gonna do whatever it's gonna do, y'all. It's gonna do whatever it's gonna do. But we mentally and physically and spiritually gotta have our stuff all lined up to go. You get what I'm saying? We gotta be trained to go.
Mhm.
That's it. We too distracted with everything else, and that's why we not prepared. How we not prepared? Y'all was prepared for the 5th of July. Mm-hmm. Y'all was prepared for that. See, y'all prepared for what the media tell y'all about, but y'all really think the media gonna tell y'all when to hit the fan? There go
No.
James. You already know he a grower. Get him, James. Shout out to James down there too.
James may have seeds. So now we got three growers in the on the panel right now, on the panel in the chat right now. Sarada, but she's been purchasing heirloom seeds in bulk a little bit at a time.
And you raise her out of too. Indoor hydroponics is a great way to begin. Microgreens. James had told me about the microgreens and stuff for people because I know a lot of y'all probably live in a confined space, and that's not me throwing shade and being messy. I'm just saying, not everybody got a big garden or a big growing area, so you got to utilize the spaces that you got. So like window seals or your doorway, and even I seen people growing in the back window of their car. You get what I'm saying? So just do what you can do, but don't be counted out because you're so busy waiting for the media to tell you when it's time to grow.
That's true. So what's up, 45 Black? You mighty quiet. What you growing?
Oh shit, nothing. But I am vegetarian though. You know what I mean?
Oh, you vegetarian?
But he only 6 days on, girl. Don't listen to him.
Nope, nope.
Well, that's an accomplishment if he can make it 6 days vegetarian. And you haven't slipped at all. You haven't eaten any meat, any byproducts.
Have y'all heard of Project Pollo? Pollo?
What,
It's a
Project
Nope.
restaurant. They sell fake chicken. Well, like they sell they sell plant based chicken.
Mhm.
That shit tastes good. That's all I've been eating really. Sunflower seeds.
You've been
45.
eating.
Don't play yourself short, friend. There's plenty of
Nah,
meals you can come up with that's plant based.
So you
bro.
you can't you can't let the taste of chicken go. You went to plant based chicken.
Yo,
A mess.
I ate vegan spaghetti. That shit was horrible.
Because that's an addiction. Then if you
Oh
still
yeah.
gotta have something that tastes like chicken.
I could
Or
give
the
that shit up,
texture.
but man,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
chicken.
like
Yeah.
what's the beer? What's the beer when people stop drinking and then they go get the non-alcoholic beer? And it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all thought
The
to hurt people
ginger.
feelings. Cut it out.
But
We
no,
ain't
but
talking-
but kudos to you. 6 days in, because
No,
6 days. That's
don't listen to Zay. I'm like 2 weeks in, man.
Oh boy,
They
bye.
Okay.
always say you
Now, what is vegan spaghetti?
it's just spaghetti with weird meat, like ground, some type of plant-based ground meat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That shit tasted horrible. Um, it was meatballs. That was bad.
So maybe you should have put the plant-based chicken in there.
Mm-hmm. But I would have had to buy it from the restaurant. That would have been unnecessary. I could just ate the chicken.
Okay. I don't know. Mushrooms seem to really take the spot for me for meat. Like I can do mushrooms. Probably because of the texture.
I don't like
Mhm.
mushrooms. I don't get why people like
You don't
mushrooms.
like mushrooms.
Yeah, I had them 2 days ago. I was like, ew,
You gonna have
this
to do
is.
You don't you don't you don't
cauliflower.
like you don't like plant-based meatballs, but you ate them.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I deserve a Grammy for that too.
You ate them today, so sometimes it ain't always about what we like.
No, that's true.
You have to
That's
develop
facts.
you have to develop a palate for it.
Oh man, that's gonna take a long time.
Yeah, if you keep telling yourself that, it is.
I'm gonna keep because I'm not eating them meatballs. Man. That was horrible.
You said no mushrooms for you. Well, I don't know then. You may just want to do it though without any form of substitute meat in there.
I'm gonna start eating grass. I'm down there too.
Now what inspired you to go vegan?
But OG keep playing them nasty ass videos and them animals. Bobby too. I got punked into being vegan or vegetarian, whatever it is.
You know what? They'll get you because Bobby almost convinced me to go get some citric magnesium.
What is
I
that?
was so, I was so close. I was like, man, maybe I should get the citric magnesium and clean myself out.
That sounds like a metal orange or something. Hell no.
No, it actually tastes like Sprite with a little salt in it.
Oh, salt.
I mean, it's not bad, is what I'm telling you. And so, but if you drink it cold, it goes down no problem. But it's once your stomach starts bubbling, that's when the trouble starts. That's when World War III is gonna break out. All hell breaks loose at
Shit.
that point.
Oh, yeah, I'd rather drink a bottle of Epsom salt and water.
I'm dying over there. But Bobby, so I get what you're saying. They've shown you this stuff enough that it's starting to affect us.
Right. I
Yeah, I
went
know.
vegan before. I went 2 months, and then I think I seen like some Popeyes. I was going home, and I just kept seeing like Popeyes and Whataburger.
Not Popeyes and Whataburger.
Oh yeah, Whataburger's horrible. I don't know why niggas be putting so much.
Listen, whatever OG and Bobby are doing is working because OG holds that skull cup up, the cup with the skull, and he puts it in the camera.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
And I guess he has his smoothies in it. And I swear I was laying in the bed and I was just like, man, I want something to eat. And I thought about that skull cup and I said, nope, I'm gonna get a smoothie.
No. Yeah. That's how it
Yeah.
is.
But I might do the citric magnesium before they call me for this job. Because if I do it when they call me for the job, then I may end up getting fired. So I'm gonna go ahead and detox before I go to work.
Okay.
I think that'd be smart. Or I'm gonna be leaving my desk like every 10 minutes, and they're gonna be like, "Is she doing drugs in the bathroom?"
Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds like a bad idea. I don't want people thinking that while I'm at work. I might take too long up in there.
No, you can take it Sunday, but you better believe on Monday the war isn't over. You don't have to take it before work. You don't
They're
That
have
gonna,
to
sounds
take
they're
it
like
gonna be
before.
bombed up a big dead.
Oh, but James, I already I take apple cider vinegar. I do, but I don't think that it will kill these parasites in my body that Bobby's talking about. Like, I think when I was watching a stream and he started talking about those parasites, I picked up the apple cider vinegar and took it to the head like it was a fifth of gin. I was like, oh man, I hope this kills it. When I was like, come on now, I know that didn't work. So then my mind went to citric magnesium.
Man, I just shook a little bit and cringed because I just seen the Dark Chameleon working.
Oh, that's a bong. Slow burn. Oh, Sunset.
You
I thought that was a cup that he holds up. That's what kind of bong is that? Ooh, he want to get mommy fed.
Is bong water healthy? Because it's weed, right? It's just weed.
Why nobody's drinking that?
Are you gonna drink the bong?
Hey, no, y'all smoke weed, so y'all gotta stand for this. What else could it be? It's weed mixed with water, right? They gotta have some type of benefits.
And somebody breath sucking it in.
Oh man.
Now listen, 45 Black. You know what a hype is?
Oh, like hyper.
Right, but do you know what they call a hype usually in the inner cities?
Like a thought.
Like somebody who's on drugs, a drug addict, a hype.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be a hype to drink some bong water.
Okay, and that's what it's giving.
Like,
45.
What if you get high drinking bong water though? Then look, see, hey, this is probably a thing.
Why not just
nobody would drink it.
I'm sure somebody is drinking it.
Why did that even cross your mind to drink that?
Right.
I always wondered about bong water like that. I didn't.
You gonna put it in your smoothies, 45?
The smoothie shit is another level. I'm not ready.
Now, did the idea to drink the bong water happen after you became a vegetarian, a vegan? I'm starting to feel like you were delusional. You were like getting weak.
Mm-hmm.
That's what enough nutrients.
That's what it was getting.
Yeah, I was just thinking out loud.
Do you drink the hot dog water when you boil hot dogs? Or
don't do that shit again.
That's different.
Stop thinking out loud.
It's a pig. Yeah, that's supposed to be nasty. And what's crazy is it ain't as nasty. Like have you ever, like when you ate a hot dog and you first grab it out, it's like it still got water on it and it don't taste as bad. Now the smell is different, but
wait a minute now.
I ain't saying I drank a cup of hot dog water.
Yes, you is. Yes, you is.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, man. It sounds like you took the hot dog and just.
I thought this was a safe place. I didn't know this.
This a judgment-free zone. This is a judgment-free zone. Planet Fitness.
You thought this was a safe place. You safe.
Mm-hmm.
We just know you're a fucked up individual now. That's all.
We just trying to figure out how this works.
we still love you, even though you fucked up.
I was no Cern abducted 45 Black last night, y'all. It's clear. It's clear. We just didn't want to say it live, y'all, but y'all hear what he's saying. 45 was abducted last night. Salute from Marcy down there.
You say he got abducted last night.
Mm-hmm. This ain't even 45. They are the abductee 45 drinking hot water.
I'm down with him. Hot dog water and bong water.
See how they twist your stuff?
He gonna take a shot of bong water and chase it with hot dog water. we gotta be concerned.
I hope those are beef wieners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm vegetarian now. So
boy, bye. You haven't been vegetarian for 2 weeks.
Plant-based hot dog waters.
Mm-hmm.
This is first check.
Hot dog water.
He said this is first check. Yeah, we crazy over here juicing with Jay. We have fun. We do talk about shit that does matter and important topics, but most of the time we have fun over here.
How to bring a little humor to important topics.
Yeah, click the link. Come on up.
Mm-hmm.
it's pinned at the top. If anybody wants to join.
Don't be scared.
Walking back home.
Yes, Sarada, I want a tiny home too, but I think I would look absolutely ridiculous inside of a tiny home.
Girl, please, I want one, and I doubt I would look ridiculous. I know I'm gonna look good. Jalen said beef hot dog waters be hella greasy.
That shit do too. It got them spots in it, and it got a bunch of bubbles, like grease bubbles.
Hey, 45 Black, that means you got a lump of grease sitting at the bottom of your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Not no more. I done killed my parasites in 2 weeks.
You don't need no more cod liver oil. You done got enough in the hot dog water.
Right. Right. I'm like a walking tall carrot or something. Like I'm just healthy.
Oh shit! You said you killed it. That is so
Like a
funny.
VeggieTales.
Y'all know 45 Black always off the chain.
I know he is a sick individual.
Okay.
Only you.
That damn 45 Black. This ain't the real 45, y'all. This is the one that came after the Cern incident. This the one after Cern.
This is just 4-5 with a better headset.
With a better headset.
No, don't blame the headset. That Cern is sent the alien with a headset, y'all. Y'all heard that? Cern is sent the alien with a headset. That's all like being able to translate.
Are you gonna keep that roach? Is your picture?
I can't. When I'm on my laptop, it won't let me. I don't have no pictures on my laptop, so
that's not a roach, y'all. That's the parasite that they sent to 45 last night.
I defeated him though.
That's a selfie of what they sent inside of 45 to have him here now.
Nah, that's dark.
No, Sarada, I was talking about the design of it, how small it is. I've been looking at them. I've been looking at tiny houses.
I think I would be good in a tiny house.
He said, y'all just made my day. About to find some dinner with a side of hot dog water, piece of bread.
Drink it slow, man. Drink it slow. It tastes better when you drink it slow.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Juicing with Jay.
Man, what if people like started drinking hot dog water, but like with like alcohol, like at a bar type shit?
What if hot dog water cures parasites? 45.
Oh my. That's what I'm thinking. Like if,
that's what I'm thinking. I'm done.
Like if you somebody that like eat meat all the time, like you eat a hamburger all this in the morning, taco in the evening, wash it down with a steak or something. Like hot dog water look like some shit that like get rid of that shit or something. Like it clean you out. Like if somebody just sat down and drunk it one day, I bet you it's like two negatives plus two negatives, like one negative plus another negative equal a positive.
Two wrongs that make it right. 45 Black.
Yes, it do.
Right.
Yes, it do. Because if you keep making it wrong, you're gonna accidentally be right. Come on, man.
Hopefully, somewhere down the road. And James, we know what. Well, I know what Earthship homes are.
No, I don't know what those are. Are they smaller than the tiny houses?
It depends on, you can get big ones, small ones, but they're like solar earth shelters made with nature and upcycled material. It's sort of like when we was looking at the earth bag homes, remember them? And the people was like, they were filling up rice bags with concrete or mud and dirt and building structures out of that. But with this one, it's different. You can use upcycled materials and of natural materials.
Oh, this tiny home look nice, but that shit too tiny. They got two-story ones.
Thank you, Sarada. We just kick back over here and have fun sometimes. And you more than welcome. Anybody want to come up, you can. Feel free. James, you want to come up and tell us about how to build the homes? Let me
Yeah,
see
and
who
increase
else.
some
Who else
utility.
giving good tips? Ghetto Child. He said he's been in some tiny homes. They're pretty roomy.
Yeah, but you see the way my energy be set up. I'm like the size of 10 people with just one person because all this energy I got to be, you know. But I'm gonna find the right tiny house for me. I'm gonna find the right one. Mine got to be
Yeah.
on wheels because I want to be able to take mine with me. You're not about to just have me stuck somewhere.
And they always had those the little stairs that take you up top to the bed that look like shit. You roll out the bed, you're gonna fall back down to the first floor.
Yep. Then you got to bend your back just to get in the top.
Yeah, I ain't feeling that.
You said on wheel, like you know, like when you on the highway and shit with that tiny house, I'm gonna be barking the fuck out of you. Like
You're gonna see me like meet me.
3 lanes and shit, you can't take no exit.
meet.
Oh, Sarada, it should be in the chat at the top of the chat. The link is pinned to the top of the chat,
Yeah, look up
and
Cinderella.
all you got to do is touch it. Oh, so I'm thinking you want to come up now. You're talking about my birthday.
By the way, ladies, make sure you RSVP for the popcorn birthday party.
Oh, you better show up. And 45 Black, you can't come on the panel that day. It's all women.
Well, he can only
Okay.
come on if he's singing happy birthday directly to you.
Yeah,
Oh
he
yeah,
can come
then I'm
on
not
for
coming
like the max is 60 seconds and then we kick you off.
Yeah.
on. Shit. Shit. I'm gonna
Don't
block
worry.
everybody without a wrench that day.
Right, I'm kicked off too. I'm kicked off too, 45. Mom, is a Cinderella toilet an incinerator toilet?
What kind of toilet?
Like an incinerator toilet. It don't flush or anything. It has like a little fire pilot on the inside. So once you do what you do, the fire will light the the little matter inside of a bag and burn everything up to where you don't have to flush or anything.
Oh, I was about to change the subject. So if y'all still got anything on this topic, y'all can go.
No, go ahead. Feel free. What you want to get off your chest
45.
now?
You got it, 45. Go ahead.
Did y'all watch Usher's Tiny Desk concert?
Oh Lord, popcorn did it.
That shit was cold, right?
Yes, it was. I think I'll watch it when I get off here with y'all because it was so nice.
I know you're not about to go back and watch it again.
I am.
Killed that shit.
Y'all is upset.
Did you see it?
Oh, y'all love Usher. And what's crazy is,
His live band.
right, and Usher got more shit than that. He ain't do Caught Up. Like, he ain't do that whole album damn near.
Well, you know, Tiny Desk doesn't do like every song. It's a free concert. So if you're looking for all of his songs, you probably should buy a ticket to one of his concerts.
No, you know you're wrong for that. Because you probably should buy a ticket, okay? Because we got a last night.
He upset about songs Usher didn't sing. It's a tiny. You're gonna get a tiny version.
He gonna say because he ain't even performing Caught Up.
When I was little, that was my shit.
I think I was like, who Tiny Desk thing did I watch? I think I watched Sizes before.
I'm gonna look them up as you talk.
And who else did I watch? I think Summer Walker.
Who was some of my favorite Tiny Desk? I can't. I'm gonna have to think of this guy's name. He's from LA, and he's like neo soul funk. Anderson .Paak.
Oh, yeah.
He with Bruno Mars in the group now.
Is he?
Yeah.
You ain't heard their song?
I didn't know he was a part of it.
Silk Supersonic or Silk the Sonic or whatever it's called.
Damn, because he don't need nobody. He is super talented.
Yeah.
Walking Bankbone said Anthony Hamilton's Tiny Desk was fire as well. Bro, you be on the same page as me. We was talking the same ones. Erykah Badu's Tiny Hum. Okay, I forgot all about her.
Erykah Badu's was so short though. Now I was pissed off about hers because she didn't sing I don't know. She didn't do a whole full Tiny Desk.
Don't do that because now you just told 45 Black you should have bought a ticket. Erica said she ain't going to be doing a full Tiny Desk.
But I do buy her tickets when she's in concert. I've seen her several times, but she say shut up.
Erica said, "Girl, today is not the day for that." Okay, you can get these 3 songs, and I'm out. Love y'all.
Her was good. What else? They had some good Tiny Desks.
The internet was dope. T-Pain shit was horrible. When that nigga started singing, then everybody acted like he could sing and shit. I was like, bro, that shit was horrible.
He sound like T.M. Pain. I was like, what?
And the funny part is, like, he knew it wasn't shit. And like when they started, he looked nervous. He looked like a kid that had to like do a presentation and shit.
They gassed that man up, and he looked around like, "Who dealt it?" Like, who?
But you know what? I like Tiny Desk concert. That whoever came up with that was genius.
Mm-hmm.
Versus,
I think that was smart. A good idea that they did that.
I'm kind of sick of Versus, but other than that, you know what, Zay? Do you still have my? Are you on your laptop?
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have my niece's her version of a Marianne?
Mm-hmm. You sent it to my cell phone, not my laptop, but yeah, I got it.
Okay, damn. Because I was gonna say, can you play it real quick?
Hold on, let me see what I can.
Now and if they like her, I'm gonna bring her on so she can play a lot of her renditions. Now that's gonna be a hilarious show.
Yeah, she was funny.
Yeah, she's a whole shit show.
I can post that link in the chat real quick on the YouTube side, and that way I can pull it up that way.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But Versus is just, I don't know. They need to get that together.
I like Versus.
Yeah, Tiny Desk is the stuff, but Versus, I don't care for it.
Do y'all watch Versus ass? Have y'all watched Colors before?
Colors. What's that?
It's like Tiny Desk, but like it's just the artist and like a microphone is dropped and they like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that shit dope. They be putting me on to a lot of singers that I don't even know.
I ain't up on that. That's like the block, right? The block.
Oh, I said the block. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that too.
Is it kind of like maybe the R&B version of the block?
Not well. They do any type of music, but it's more so like either straight up neo soul type music or like any type of abstract type weird type of sound type music. Like I'll read some of the people that been on there.
My favorite verses was who? Was it Dipset? Cameron. Who was that? Dipset.
Dipset versus the Lost.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, remember we watched Cameron? Okay, who was that though? That was Dipset.
Dipset and JD Pitson.
Versus the Lost, right?
Yeah, that was my favorite verses.
That was dope. Yeah,
Versus just was so cheesy to me because it's like,
Wait a minute. So Sarada said, Divine Warrior, I'm sorry, said Cern is saying they found 3 new particles. So here we go.
Well, y'all remember in 2012 they named the particle that they found the God particle, and then they went back and changed it again. So yesterday was the reunion for the first time that they found the particle, which was in 2012. So that's why I always ask people, so do y'all believe that we are in a different timeline? Because remember, the Mayans kept saying the world was going to end in 2012. That's when their calendar ended. I got the screen share up whenever you want me to pull it up.
Hopefully I don't get a strike for this.
Are y'all ready for this? Tell me when
So
you're
this
ready.
is I'm ready whenever you are. So this is my niece. She does TikToks, and this was her version of Omarion.
The Omarion versus Mario battle.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just sound or is it screen share?
No, he's gonna screen share.
Okay.
Is the screen share popcorn?
No.
Say that again. Is it what?
It should be on your side. You don't see it on your side?
No.
You got to add the screen share to the panel.
Let me see.
You got to add the screen share to the panel.
Hold on.
You ain't got to yell.
Yeah, when I press share screen. Oh, I'm yelling?
No.
Hold on, it may. I don't know.
Did she kick herself off?
Uh-huh.
Hold on.
And we are back.
Off.
If anything, y'all, I posted the video that she talking about in the chat room. So yeah. That way, if they can't put the screen share up. But yeah, that was an awkward battle. That Omarion versus Mario one was just boring, dry, and need to be rewashed.
And what's crazy is like people was acting like it was like a bad idea for who was it? Omarion versus who?
Mario.
I think that's a good idea. It's just that Mario only got 4 songs, but
okay,
there was some dope ass songs like the Let Me Love You. Then he got the Breakup song.
Why would you want to break up? Then he got the one with Nicki Minaj too.
I didn't even know that one.
We got a lot of songs going.
I thought he had 2.
Welcome back, Popcorn.
Mm-hmm. No,
Right.
it didn't. Hold on.
Oh yeah, crying out for me. I remember that.
Yeah.
How do I breathe? Okay, I'm tripping.
How do okay, yeah.
Just a friend when he had braids. Oh shit.
Just a friend. Popcorn, if you do that one time, she done pop that again. Every time I press the screen share part, she popped out.
Hey,
The NT. Yep.
Say, do you remember Jesse McCartney?
Yes, I do.
I used to think he was better than Justin Timberlake.
A lot of people was better than Justin Timberlake now.
Hey, come on. Now you speaking nonsense.
Okay.
JT. Carry on.
To me, Justin Timberlake was okay. He wasn't all that.
Cry Me a
I'm
River.
just there, 45. You cry me. No, I was good on him.
Oh, that's racist. That's
You don't have to say. No, thank you.
You heard me singing.
You were singing it too.
You keep kicking yourself off.
Yeah, because I was trying to, because I'm in the car, so I was trying to see if I could change it to desktop, but it won't let me. So yeah.
So what you got to do is, and it's actually longer. You got to go onto your web browser and log in that way. Like go to your web browser and then go into StreamYard. It's gonna email you the passcode. Gotta go open your email address up. It's gonna take you forever to do all that.
Yeah, nah, we'll do it another time.
Salutes, Kev504. We see you out there.
Hey,
but
salute.
I did, however, post the link for everybody out there. I'll repost it again so y'all can reference the video we're talking about of her cousin. You said your cousin, right?
It's my niece.
Her niece. Doing her reenactment to the Omarion and Mario. And make sure if you got a TikTok to go subscribe to her also. Y'all ain't gotta follow her on Facebook. Don't be weird. Y'all know Facebook is more on a personable level with family. Don't be trying to be weird like that. Y'all just watch the TikTok and follow her on TikTok. So yeah, there you go.
I don't y'all know what you're missing, bro.
You can't see all of her content on Facebook anyway. I think most of it is on TikTok. That's if they talking about banning TikTok.
Yeah, because China owns TikTok.
They said that they breached the information that they were able to access personal information from the U.S.
hmm But I see they talk a lot, but I don't listen to them people because y'all all worried about TikTok being owned by China, but y'all ain't having no problem sending the meat industry to China. So y'all trust them with the
Yeah,
food, but
but
y'all don't trust them with the technology. Please, the government be just all over the place with theirs.
yeah, you know what it is. That now they just want to create their own TikTok.
But it'll never be the same. Like, see, there's a like people were saying. I think was that Bomb Mom's daughter that was on here saying there's other platforms you can use that's just like TikTok, but you gotta think about it.
Mhm.
They'll never be like TikTok now because TikTok is just what it is now. It's so big.
Wherever wherever the
Go ahead.
people are at, that's gonna just be the lit spot. Like you can create some other shit, but
Yep.
it's not gonna be in competition.
Yep. And to think about it, people now are able to monetize off of TikTok. So how you can monetize on
Mm.
YouTube and other platforms, you can monetize on TikTok, and more people are becoming more viral, trending, and actually getting, which I don't think is the best, but they're actually getting noticed. You know, like
Uh-huh.
music deals, exposure, the type of stuff that they're seeking.
Uh-huh.
But like I said, I don't think it's the best. Just because you got a quick hot deal don't mean anything. But yeah, people find out the hard way. But that's why I think they're trying to remove TikTok. And if you got remember the algorithms that's based off of TikTok is the same one that they use for their social credit score in China. So it's just a precursor to where we going, y'all.
Yeah, and what's crazy about TikTok, Jay, you from Louisiana, right?
Mm-mm. China.
Oh, wait, China? What'd you say?
They from China.
Where
The
you? I
creator.
said you from.
Oh
You,
yeah. I thought you said the creator of TikTok. I was like, yeah, he from China. But what you said about me?
nah, like I know you see this one nigga, the dude that do the crab boil shit
Mm-hmm.
and do all them boil like that nigga is like super popular. The motherfuckers is buying like little random products he come out with, calling
Yep.
him to come do like cooking shit. Like motherfuckers be making money off of TikTok.
Yep. That's what I was saying. Instead of like the community of us, you know, going back and forth and being scared of what the government keep wiping in front of our face, we could be utilizing all these apps and building empires.
Excuse me, y'all. This is an emergency. Real Lamar, can you drop your location and we'll come help you find it?
Okay.
That's actually a good thing because I remember that
He
shit happened
dropped
to
a
me
quarter of
one
an ounce of
time.
sugar on his car floors.
Look, don't worry, bro. We on the way. You just step aside.
Man, I remember one time I ain't have no weed and I looked on the ground and seen like some weed on the ground. I was like, oh, God sent this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Remember next day air when they
hey,
got that
hey,
coat?
hey, after you smoked it, did you wash it down with some hot dog water?
Mm-hmm. Right there.
Ah,
Yeah, he did.
You know he did. He's smoking that weed off the
Mm-hmm.
ground.
You done
It
it
was
went.
was up
probably
in
all
my
kind of
car.
it was all kind of stuff in that weed.
It was
Rat
Well,
park.
months.
Cern might have got that weed from you. That's probably what Cern done did. Cern done came and
If
stole
he
your weed.
Zay, he got it off the ground. Can you imagine what was on the ground? Rat
See how they
toenail.
stress? I said
Yeah,
it
you
was
don't
my
care.
car. My
You
car,
said it was
man.
in your car.
Yeah.
That's not what you said the first time.
That's even worse.
My car's safe.
This is
You
safe
said, you
haven.
said
You know, my
safe.
homegirl, I remember she told me this one story. When we lived in these apartment complexes, you know how they cut your grass and stuff like that for you. Well, she
Uh-huh.
left like her weed in the cup holder while she went in her house, whatever the case may be. While she came out and the little Spanish people that be cutting their grasses out there smoking her weed.
We fighting.
Okay,
Yeah.
just be throwing.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I would have beat the
I'm
brakes on
sorry.
you.
I'm sorry, but Julio would have got his ass whooped that day.
Okay, I would have turned that nigga into Don Julio. Okay, 3 shots in the chaser. You gonna miss me if I hit him with a taser? Yeah.
Hey, that story remind me of some funny shit that happened to my mom. My mom was working right, and like this was back when niggas used to steal not radios but the little system thing in the
Mm-hmm.
car. And some Mexican dude jumped in, like broke into my mom's car, and this nigga had a hot dog, so he broke into the car with a hot dog. And like my mom said, she went downstairs and he was in the passenger seat eating the hot dog, trying to take the video.
Caught him red-handed with them ketchup stains.
Hey,
He
24
ran.
Black. Hey, admit it, you got an obsession with hot dogs, don't you?
I told you this not 45.
I
This is the new Cern 45. They must come from a hot dog factory. That's how they built them, the clones out of old hot dog processing skills. That's all this nigga
I
knows.
used to eat them conies, the foot long conies that Sonic and shit. That used to be my go-to.
We gonna start calling you Young Glizzy, 45 Glizzy.
Oh, come on. Come on, man.
Oh,
This was a
goodness.
safe haven. Oh, shit.
Everything is attached to hot dogs.
Oh, shit.
Pop, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Big kid, bro. A little muffled.
Okay. Well, I'll see if I can fix that. Y'all just bear with my little crazy ass for a minute. Hopefully I won't lose y'all.
Yeah, for sure. What's your name, bro?
His name is Hot Dog Man.
How's everything now?
I can't really make out what James.
I really can't make out what you're saying right now. So if
What
you
is
have a
this?
headset that's plugged in, you might want to unplug it. If you connect it to a Bluetooth, you might want to unplug that. But yeah, what you trying to say? Is that James? I can't tell.
Yeah, it is, but I can't make out what he's saying.
James, hey.
Hey, well, look at here. I'm doing better. Before I couldn't get on this sucker at all.
Right, you one step closer, James. You one step closer. It might be the signal out there, friend. It might be the signal.
Now you got to come out of the portal.
Mm-hmm. It might be Cern. Cern, not your signal loose over there, James.
Damn, dude, you got your screen light down too? There ain't no light in that motherfucker. That nigga. Shit, get some,
Put the glizzy
get some wood. Light a fire.
I can see everything. Hey.
All right, James. Well, we'll be ready when you come back on then, but we can't have the dead air in the air, okay? We're going to put one in the air, but we will not have the quiet time. All right.
Yes, it is. Damn, when I do like that.
James, I thought you was dark comedian. I got like, when I get on key shit, I'm going to tell that nigga hit the link. So,
That's our third James.
Oh, Serrata, you ate an Oscar Mayer wiener the other day.
The vegan people in the chat room gonna be upset with you.
it was
She
kind
said,
of busting.
the taste was busting.
With relish and a little bit of mustard.
Man, it's raining down.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, if you get when they put them on the barbecue grill or whatever, can't complain. Can't complain.
Can y'all hear me now?
Oh, you flawless
Yeah.
now. I thought you was Beyonce. What's up?
Beyonce, man, damn.
Flawless. You in here? What's up with you, James? You crystal clear.
Shit. It's about time that I was able to get up here and interact with you guys, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, shit. You could only ask a person but so many times before he had to make some power moves and answer
Right,
call. How many times you asked me to come up on the panel?
Okay, we like James. Click the link, James. Click the link, James. Click the link. But it ain't your fault, James. I think it was your phone. I think it's your phone. You still work with old technology, and that's okay.
That razor phone
Ever,
man.
You know what? In my opinion, and it's just my opinion, older
Mhm.
technology to me is safer technology.
That's why I was making the joke. You on the safe side of
Oh, well.
things. Think about
I'm
it.
trying to be.
Think about
I'm
it.
trying to be.
Steve Jobs said that he cover up his camera with tape, and he also cover up his microphone. So if we can't hear you, and we was barely able to see you, guess what? You on the safe side of things. You already advanced. You advanced.
Oh hell, I still look like an old ass man though.
We can't tell though. Your camera's like got tape on it. You good? Boy, look, we looking at you through Scotch tape. Oh, there we go.
Oh shit!
Now y'all see what this old ass man look like.
Now you crystal clear, James. What you just removed the contact lens off the camera? You must have
Something
blew the
like
dust
that.
off the
That's well. Let that be the first iteration of the 38 things, because I got mad shit up my sleeve. Best to believe it.
Bad man, pajama James.
Yeah. So y'all wanted to know about that Earth shit thing. Well,
Uh-huh.
I don't mean to come in here and just like change all the topics or whatever, but it just took me that long to get up here.
Oh
You
no,
know what I
you
mean?
good.
So
Flawless
with the Earthship in a nutshell,
Uh-huh.
it's a spot that you need some land because it's not mobile. You know what I mean? And it creates its
In the
own
world.
utilities. It
Uh-huh.
uses its water 4 times before it's
Mm-hmm.
discarded. It has a solution for your solid human race. There's
Mm-hmm.
a greenhouse built right
Mm-hmm.
into the structure. It cools itself in the winter. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, I said that
Mm-hmm.
backwards. It cools itself in the summer, and you could damn near heat it with the freaking candle in the winter.
Right.
And I like the way that it's constructed, but being that I have a strong background in various phases of construction, I don't necessarily have to build an earthship per se for my structure
Right.
to do everything a earthship can do that it's capable of. And I've
Correct.
studied earthships a long time.
You just needed to be looking for self-sufficiency.
Well, that's one of the reasons the inventor of it. I don't know if you know his name, but his name is Ronald Reynolds. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason that they gave that man so much hell from the beginning, because his original plan, if you will, for the Earthship was to build it out of recycled material that would take the landfill and shrink it down to maybe a quarter of its size, because that's how much material you can
Mm-hmm.
use from recycled stuff. Bottles and freaking aluminum cans, used tires. This dude just went freaking berserk on how to put it all together. But there is some things you got to look out for, and that I think holds true for any type of construction, which is why they came out with that new invention called that tie wrap. You see how when you build
Mm-hmm.
a house, they wrap it in that white fabric type material.
Yep.
That's called tie
Mm-hmm.
wrap. It's a reason for that. You know what I mean? So he has worked out different things over the years that dude has built these earthships all over the world. And right here in New Mexico, specifically Taos, New Mexico, he
Mm-hmm.
has a whole community of them,
Man.
earthships. And there are rules to make the earthship work correctly because it has to face the southern hemisphere in order
Mm-hmm.
for it to work. Because the greenhouse part is a big part of the functionality of how the greenhouse, I'm sorry, how the earthship works, because the sun sits lower in the hemisphere in the winter. So at that degree angle that he has those the windows for the greenhouse, you get more sun exposure in the winter months that helps heat the house, as well as giving you the ability to grow just about whatever you want all year long, no matter what climate you're in. Now in the summertime, the sun sits higher up in the sky that not so much sun shines into the house, so
Right.
that his later Earthship models, he incorporated a cooling tube. That's what he calls it. It's a cooling tube, to where
Mm-hmm.
that mound where the tires are built into has so much mass that by the time that outside air reaches inside, it's pretty much the same temperature as the soil, which is around what, 65 degrees average.
Right.
That's Yeah, you how you gonna go wrong with that when it's freaking 100 degrees outside and you
Right.
pulling in 80, I'm sorry, 65-degree air with no motors, no fans, or nothing because it's done through convection because you got to open the vents in the
Mm-hmm.
greenhouse part that starts that convection because naturally hot air wants to rise. And if that's the only
Mm-hmm.
outside air coming in is through that tubing, that cooling tube, then it's going to cool the whole freaking place down. And the way it's built, you can control where you want your air to go because every room is connected by, I think it's a 6 by 6 cutout square at
Mm-hmm.
the top of every door. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how much you guys know about these earth ships, but I like I said, I've studied them for years because I just wanted to know shit. That's just how I am because my ultimate goal is to get me some land somewhere. I don't know
Right.
where that land is. I don't know what type of climate I'm going to be in. I don't know. So I figured my best bet was to learn and know as much as I freaking can so that I can adapt and progress on whatever type of property I land on. And there's some stuff I know that doesn't
Correct.
apply to every place. But that Earthship, oh man, that's a bad boy right there. And like I said, I don't have to build it like an Earthship.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, depending on the land, say for example, if I get some wooded virgin land, I
Yep.
would build an Earthship, traditional Earthship, so I can make it blend into the landscape. It won't be seen, not even by air.
Mm. So
You
camouflage.
know. And if I get another piece of property, I can build a conventional looking style structure that has all the benefits of a green sorry an earthship.
Mm-hmm. So
So it's
listen.
just food for thoughts. I'm not trying to sway anybody one way or another. I'm just putting this information out there so that people can look at it and they'll make their own freaking decision if that's something they want to do or not,
No, you're
or
right
just
though. You're on point with
incorporate
that
aspects.
because I think
No,
everybody.
Yeah,
I think everybody at this point of life, if they living outside of media, is looking forward towards something like that. You know, like having a garden and everything just being operated on their land without having to go out of their space to do it.
well, true. I mean, that's the way our community thinks. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because hey, number one, we're the last one to know anything, and then on
Okay.
top of that, we are the ones that got to work twice as long, twice as fast, be twice as smart to come home with less money than our counterpart, no matter what nationality they are. That's just
Correct.
the way that this country has been for a very long time. And yes, things are changing and it's getting better, but for some of us, that's not the case. So we still have to rely on that bona fide knowledge from our
Mm-hmm.
forefathers and ancestors. And
You're
there
right.
is a difference, by the way.
You can
And
break
that's just,
down that,
how
break
I'm
down
seeing
that
it.
difference for them real quick, James. I think they need the breakdown of the difference between the forefathers and ancestors because people get it confused and they start tripping and tripping on top of the word.
Well, ancestors, I don't know how to do it in layman's terms, but I'll do my best.
Do it as
Ancestors,
best as you can.
they are of a higher rank. They're
Mm-hmm.
closer related to, well, not related, but they're closer to the spiritual realm, to where's that essence of knowledge applies. Whereas our forefathers, that's pretty much knowledge that if we seek hard enough, we can find it. We can relearn it. But knowledge that the ancestors hold, for example, that's more on the spiritual side. Because they've been, we're talking ancestors, so they're
Mm-hmm.
hundreds and thousands of years before us. So their physical knowledge, if you will, is not really pliable to what we're dealing with today. However, on that spiritual side, to where they come to you and they give you messages or they give you that level of protection or that level of guidance or whatever. Now
Uh-huh.
that's something, yes, your ancestors, I mean your forefathers can do also, but not on the level your ancestors can. And it's like, I guess it's like addressing your parents versus addressing your grandparents versus your great grandparents.
Correct.
So the more grand you get behind that, I mean, in front of that parent, the
Hmm.
more respect and reverence you gonna get, or otherwise you know that there's consequences and repercussions that grands and great grandparents can give you that your parents can't. Mess around, your parents gonna get the same thing you gonna get messing around with your grandparents.
Yep.
That's a pretty much about the best way I can describe the difference. Now, some people don't think there is a difference. Well, okay, just let them keep on doing what they do, and one day they'll wake up with understanding.
Hey, they don't understand how the Fabergé egg works.
How the what egg?
Fabergé egg works. There's a grand egg on top of a grand egg on top of a grand egg on top of a grand egg. There's always a grand egg on top of another egg. There's always going to be a hierarchy within your family because there's a grandparent.
Okay,
So
I
you,
mean, I understand the structure. I've just never heard the terminology that you use. But yeah, I understand the structure. Damn Skippy.
yep.
I mean, I'm
That's
old
because you always
school, so
they always say, well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? It don't matter what came first because they're both of the same thing, right? And then that's if you look at
right.
if you look at the Fabergé egg, it's just a crystallized egg, and it's a whole bunch of eggs inside of one. So like you can open up the big one, and there's a medium one. You open up the medium one, there's a small one. You open up the small one, there's a miniature one. So it's teaching you like how the cycle works. It's a reflection of yourself, and it keeps repeating.
Right, right. Because, another thing that, I'm glad you brought that up because it reminded me of another aspect that I didn't mention in my explanation of the difference.
Hmm.
We're all tied together through DNA.
Yep.
This is how they are able to come and protect you. This is how they're able to come and guide you and just be around you, if nothing else. And that
Hmm.
also works on the other end of the spectrum because there's things that you can do right here in the physical that helps them in the spiritual realm
Hmm.
to build and strengthen that relationship with your ancestors and your forefathers.
That's why you ever heard when somebody say, with all the fibers of my being, the fibers being the
Mm,
ancestors being tied together to make a stronger bond.
right. Okay. Okay. Because it's like, maybe not all the time because here in the modern age, we
Hmm.
do have gifts. Not all of us, but we do have gifts.
Hmm.
So I say that to kind of distinguish the difference between your gifts and the gifts that you're being gifted from your ancestors or your forefathers,
Right.
because they both have that ability, but it's on a different, and that difference is hard to explain, but it's on a different level. You know what I mean? Now, I'm
Hmm.
going to say something real brief, and I'm not going to get all up into it. You know what I mean? But I've had some far ancestors come visit me that was still dressed like they dressed back before, as they quote today, civilization, which they were fucking civilized. It's just that is the fuckery that they use today, excuse
Hmm.
my expression, to throw people off the truth. But in other words, they came to me barefoot, the shield, the freaking the spear, all of
Hmm.
that, the headdress, everything. And I'm like, wow. Now here where the ancestors come in at, because there was an ancestor of mine that I did not know. Whereas, I'm sorry, a forefather that I did not know.
Hmm.
Whereas he was close enough in his tongue that he was able to translate to me what the ancestor was saying to me. And he came to me when he realized, and I'm assuming when he realized that I didn't understand the language in which my ancestor was speaking to me. So my forefather came and translated it. And
Hmm.
luckily, I was able to understand that slavery era broken English, in other words, how slaves spoke during that time, that I
Hmm.
understood his translation from my ancestor. And that was powerful right there. And that's something right there that I don't freaking share, but that's a good way that I can distinguish for people to understand the difference between an ancestor and a forefather.
Yeah. It's always going to be the dialect and the vibration of the tongue. So the it's going to take one to know one, but it's also going to take one to interpretate the other. You get what I'm saying? So all
Right.
interpretation won't be clear unless you have somebody who's able to interpretate those things for you, and that would be the forefather. The ancestor is the one that's communicating, but the communication needs to be interpreted for you to understand it sometimes. Let me see.
Well, yes, because that was a language. Oh my God, I don't think I've ever heard it before. So I don't know if it's a dialect of a language or just a language period I've never heard. But
It could be.
however, go ahead.
I was gonna say it could be an internal tongue. So what it is back in the day when everybody's families were separated, not everybody heard each other's dialect and language and communications because communications
Well,
wasn't.
yes, I could get down with that because we communicated in different ways. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That you beat them drums, for example. That was a form of communication before it was a form of music.
Yep, and it's the vibration of the drum. The
That's
beat
right.
would resonate with the heart, but the vibration would speak to the mind.
Okay,
I
I feel you.
know. I
You
was
know what
like,
I mean? But
fuck, I didn't get a chance to tell you to get the cups.
Popcorn, you're not muted,
No,
right?
they finna close, ain't they?
Popcorn, you're not muted, sister. What y'all about to drink?
I was
I
muted, but
heard
I guess it ain't.
what y'all about to get a drink. Uh-huh.
Oh, they at Popeyes right now.
Oh yeah, Popeyes.
Getting a $5 chicken sandwich.
And a hot dog.
Mine's plant based.
right, but
And some hot dog water.
they
Uh-huh.
they on another spin-off of that, our ancestors, they also spoke with their hands and their body.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to pick up on the setting, the body language of my ancestor. Because he wasn't angry.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell by the way the forefather addressed him and approached him that he was up high. So he was somewhere in the kingship structure, but he was high up there. I can't say exactly what it was, but if I understood the clothing of that time, then I would be able to identify if he was a king or not, or a king's messenger, or what have you. You see? So, with that being said, what I'm trying to say is that's all I had to go by until it was recognized that I didn't understand, but I was trying to understand. And then
Mm-hmm.
the forefather appeared. Then he appeared. And when he appeared, he came with a purpose and he fulfilled his purpose to make sure that I
Mm-hmm.
understood what was being said to me. And there was some deep, powerful stuff that pertained to a lot of things because it was one of those things that was like a chain that's
Mm-hmm.
connect. Well, no, not really a chain, more like a tree that this information that was passed to me applies not only to my family, it applies to my own well-being. It applies to a lot of things pertaining to spirituality, if you will.
Correct.
That's about the best way I can describe it, and without going into great detail. But yeah, that's it. And that right there is like I'll never forget that, bro. I take my last
Mm-hmm.
breath. That's something right there that I'll be fresh in my head.
It's sort of like it's like the battery converter and engine because you need the converter for the two to connect. To power the source, there's an in between, so it's like the trio. So that would be the forefather, the ancestor, and you, or positive, negative, and neutral, the electricity, the static, the communications. See, it all boils down to the same shit. It still come back to the same the trio, the three.
Right, right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Ringing up the bell, and then that's why the yellow phone book was the telecommunications. The bell, two sides, the one in the middle, connecting the two sides.
And James, you have a lot to
So,
bring to the panel. You've been in this panel.
Uh huh.
The chat is responding to you well. They say they really you speaking to Sarada's soul. So really enjoying the what you have to bring forth.
okay, but hold up though. I'm grateful for that. Don't get it twisted. A lot of stuff that I know, I don't know the terminology for it. I just know it. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
like I've I've done my fair bit of studying, and there's things that I understand that I don't know how to explain it
Mm-hmm.
because there's no terminology that I know about. So this word that you use that sounded like sriracha, but it wasn't sriracha. What? Give me a definition of that. What is that?
That's
When
right.
they're saying that that's where I'm speaking from, you know?
Ooh, James.
Hello?
Mm-hmm. So Rada is her name.
Oh, she's a goddess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she was saying, yes, my great grandparents here in ancient America were done so dirty, including paper genocide, ancient mounds in Illinois. It's in the blood, not necessarily the level of darkness in skin. Oh, James, you fell up. You must have clicked something. And my bad for reading that all slow, y'all. You know I'd be smoking while I'm talking at the same time, and I'm trying to, do it right. Okay, keep it tight. Anyways, but yeah, the stuff he dropping is really important and smart, especially when it comes down to the houses he was talking about or those homes. I be trying to urge people into looking into that. You don't have to necessarily use that as a main house, but you can use that as like your bunker home, like a backup home, a stationary home. I mean, not a stationary home, but like a little home for your family members and stuff in need of like refuge or whatever the case may be. So it's very important to listen to these options that we got. Everything don't have to be down to living in the suburbs of the city. You get what I'm saying? Or even in the country. There you can find places in all different areas and locations. You just got to search. Like he said, he's looking for location. Location is very important, and also you want to make sure it's a good area to grow in, because like we said, if we're talking about seeds and harvesting and making sure we have crops and stuff prepared, we want to make sure we got our ducks lined up in order to where we're able to grow properly and the soil is good, and it gets plentiful water, and we have well systems and not dependent on city water. So yeah, very, very, very important. But let me see, because I can't see the chat on my end. I'm gonna look on YouTube. Hold on, y'all, give me a second. Okay, thinking about getting an RV trailer myself and hitting the roads. BLM land is free to stay on. Correct. That's another good one. Also, there's a app where you can find Harvest Homes. That's what it's called, Harvest Homes, the app. So if you're an RVer or a car life person or a van life person, you can look into the Harvest Home app, and it's $20 a month, and you can stay on all these different properties that they got listed. And the properties usually have like wineries attached, breweries attached, farm stuff attached, like just scenery type stuff attached to it, to where you getting a bang for your buck. And think about it, $20 a month, girl, please, you can't ask for more than that, because most of y'all can't even find a home for $20 a month. Okay, so anyways, go ahead, James, you back?
Am I back on? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to pull up the chat so I could, kind of interact with the chat as well, but it ended up kicking me off.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I should leave things alone for now till I learn how this thing works a little bit better. So I'd
You
be able to interact with the text as well. So
Are you on the computer,
um
James?
no, I'm on my phone. I don't have a computer.
Okay, I was gonna say, because
So
If you see a button under your options where it say comments at, that's where the YouTube comments pop up.
Okay, well, I have a icon on the phone that says chat. I hit the chat and it freaking kicked me out.
Yeah, that probably took you to the private chat. Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
basically, I feel that the way the phone is set up, that either I can do one or the other. Either I'm going to be up here on the panel, or it's going to drop the panel and put me on the with the chat
Right.
where I was before I hit the link to come up. So elaborating a little bit on the bits and pieces that I heard you iterating on when I had got cut off,
Hmm.
it's something I want to say that's very important to all of us. That
Hmm.
you 100% right in terms of having that refuge for your family or bug out or for whatever reason, but having that little extra something for the family, whatever
Hmm.
arrives. But at the same time, families, all families, especially mine, if y'all listening, okay, it goes like this:
Uh-huh.
we need to get together and start getting along with each other and stop being on a damn power trip to the point that, all right, so what? I'm your 15-year younger brother.
Hmm.
Here's the deal. I'm not 15 years old no more. I'm a whole grown ass man.
Hmm.
So therefore, and I'll speak about me so that way people can apply it to however it fits. Okay.
Hmm.
So when you're dealing with a situation like that, to where we're doing what it needs to be done for the family, just because you're older, just because whatever, just because is bullshit. It's what you get down and willing to do and have done and always did for the family should put you where you need to be in order for the whole family to be whole and to move forward. Because a lot of this matriarchic, or if I said that right, but the matriarchs or whatever, that
Uh-huh.
structure has to be closely examined in today's time for the fact that you have grandmothers, possibly great grandmothers, 40 years, 40 some odd years old in today's time. They ain't
Hmm.
carrying that wisdom that people 20, 30 years ago in that same position carried. Because people that carried that position that far back, they had that wisdom. They had that time in their life to develop that wisdom, that knowledge, and that understanding to be able to put it down. Whereas now that age thing matters. You see
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Whereas in today's time, that's not necessarily the case. Now, don't get me wrong. You have some young folks that got that wisdom. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? They've been here before and things of that nature. That I don't know, reincarnation, even though it's confusing to me, but I guess that's the way to say it for people to understand what I'm saying without getting personal and putting my own experience out there, but just take from my experience to do what's needed to be done in your own families. Because when shit hit the fan and you got families against each other, y'all all just as good as much as fucking dead. Excuse my expression, but that's the deal. Because you don't have no protection. The
Yep.
same sucker you think is supposed to be protecting you because y'all close in that genome pool or whatever, that family thing. So in other words, y'all brother or sister and not distant cousin. You see what I'm saying? And even then shouldn't really matter,
Hmm.
but still. You see what I'm saying? Whereas now you have this animosity that don't need to be, that you've been harboring in your heart all these damn years, cutting your fellow brother down instead of y'all rising up together. All that right there, if you keep that up, when right now when we need to be preparing, actually we should have been doing this years ago, years and years and years ago. To whereas people don't understand the fact that when you go get a piece of land, doesn't matter if it's raw, something on it, whatever, you go get some property, all right, and you want to do this self-sufficient thing, no matter what level you want to do it on, you got to iron out those trials and errors. That takes time to be able to iron that out. It's not like a lot of us should be on properties that we grew up on or grandma property that we visited quite often. So we know
Mm-hmm.
something about that land. You see what I'm saying? Even if we don't know it firsthand, things about that land has been passed down to us from our uncles, our aunts, and so on and so forth. So we know things about that land. So whereas you go buying land, you don't know nothing about that land really. You might
Nope.
know what you need to know in order to, on the legal terms, to not get had to overprice it or whatever. You see what I'm saying? But the land itself, you don't know what took place on that land to the point that, you know, without getting all creepy and whatnot, you don't know what the landlines is allowing to come and go from that land, and so on and
Yep.
so forth. You don't know if there's blood in that soil or what on a spiritual level. And then you have the today's level. You don't know what was there before. Is that soil toxic? Will it support what you want to do? So on and so forth. You see what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Whereas the reason for this is that we just get so much as a family on a power trip amongst ourselves. Oh well, I'm the oldest, I deserve this, but you ain't did shit. You understand what I'm saying? When grandpa,
You're right.
whoever was on they was, doing their thing, I was the one making sure they getting their appointments taken care of, making sure they eat, just making sure they are right whatever the hell they need. Where was you at? So now you want to come and be entitled just because you older? You should have been there showing me how to do this shit. And I ain't saying every family is like that, but every family has their hangups, their shortcomings, their corks and screws. That needs to be handled and worked out. Cause in some
Yeah.
families, when shit hit the fan, you gonna be fighting your own damn family and ready to lay them down and 6 feet under for your own survival. Why should that be
Mm-hmm.
in the family? That's basically all I'm saying. I know I'm a little bit winded and whatnot, but that's pretty much it. And that has to be done. Or otherwise, then you may as well stand a better chance being a lone wolf or a lone wolf and doing what you got to do for you and your children and your brothers and sisters and the rest of the family. Well, they pretty much got to fend for themselves. And that shouldn't be, because there's strength in numbers, and there's strength all the way around the board, not just in a fight situation. Because there's things, okay, like, all right, I'll put this out there about my family. Now, there's things that I knew about my older family, and I'm talking about my father's brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, and cousins of my father, first cousins to my father. I knew those people. My
Mm-hmm.
brothers and sisters didn't know those people the way I did. To the point that,
Mhm.
okay, one year I took them, well, we always call that home. You
So
know what
it
I'm
is.
saying? I went took them down there with daddy's roots, where he from. So that's
Uh-huh.
our roots. That's where our clan started, right? I
Yep.
take them down there, and they hadn't been down there in umpteen years. I took them straight there, ain't need a map or whatever, because I'm there 6 times a year. You see what I'm saying? So
Uh-huh.
one of my sisters is like, you don't know where the hell you at? You're fucking lost. I don't remember all these woods. Just so happened at the time she said that, our first cousin was approaching the car because he already knew. I come down there that often. When he see them out of state plates, he already know who it is. So I said to my sister,
Mhm.
look, who that is. If I don't know where I'm at, then who is that? You know what I mean? Shit like
Mm-hmm.
that shouldn't even really happen, especially when you're relying on me to connect you. But you want me
Right.
to connect you and you belittling me at the same time. You know what I mean? I'll give you that. I will always be your little brother. But there's a difference in a boy and a man. You ask me to do a man's task, but then you want to belittle me to a boy. And I'm supposed to be happy with that. And I ain't gonna cuss your ass out. I'm not that person. Families
It
need to get it
that might
together.
I was gonna tie that into what you said earlier. The connection. So it's like basically disrespecting the forefather and hoping that they're gonna translate the conversation for you.
James had to think about that
What?
one.
Well, I'm trying to grasp where he going with that, because I mean, we're
No, I'm
talking about
saying
my
so.
sister.
Yeah, I'm saying so. Your sister, you, and the cousin that walked up to the car. So for you to make the
Right.
connection between your sister and the cousin, she had to rely on you. And you said if she was belittling you, and that's what I said. That's how your forefathers and your ancestors work. If you don't acknowledge them the right way, why you think your life turned out the way it's turning out? You're not
Okay. Right.
acknowledging
Yeah.
people and
Yeah.
giving them their reverence like you're supposed to. So it
Right.
play out in the
Yep.
physical just like it's in the spiritual.
Yeah, you're right on that. Yeah. I don't know. It just didn't register when you said it the first time. But yeah, you right on point with that. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's just how it is. You got to give that reverence. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
give that reverence, then you're pretty much fucking water. You give them no reason to help you
Mm-hmm.
or to even come visit you or whatever, because they can come and be right next to you, but you'll never know it because you don't even have the connection with them to even feel them if they come.
Yep.
You don't even have the reverence or the connection with them to even understand that they're trying to warn you of something, even if you don't understand what the hell they're warning you of. At least you give them enough reverence that you could go within yourself and try to figure that thing out. They're warning me of
Thank
something, so what is it? And do what you need to do to try to figure that out.
Yep.
And the whole thing, because like they say, what's above so is below. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you got that physical realm and you got that spiritual realm. The same thing
Yep.
goes on. You need those same senses in the physical. You need them in the spiritual, and in order to be able to navigate. The signs are different because it's a different realm, but that doesn't mean that you won't have guidance and protection while you're in that other realm. That's just why you got to take care of your people while you're in this realm, so that, for lack of a better way to say it, that door can be open. That either can go back and forth according to whatever needed for the reason to go back and forth. Do you go for blow off some stress, leave this damn world where the hell it is for the moment, and you take your time and you go over there and spend some time and get some knowledge from your ancestors as well as your forefathers, even if you're
Mm-hmm.
not sitting there face to face, because once you know yourself, you will know whatever energy come around you if it's of you or not,
Correct.
and that will determine how you need to navigate and conduct yourself. Mess around out there thinking you know this, that, and the other, and your ass will get lost. And ain't gonna come back
Yep.
in some cases. You know what I mean? Don't be going out there. It's serious business. Don't be going out there half stepping, like my dad used to say. Don't go out there half cocked.
Mm-hmm.
Do the damn thing for real, and stay your behind here until you get it together.
Yep. Cause there ain't no time to practice
No,
when
don't
you on
you?
the battlefield.
Well, yeah, because I mean, okay, for example, and this happens a lot more on the female side than the male side, but it happens on both sides. Whereas you have that aunt that ain't no relation to you, that's just happened to be your mama bestest, the best damn friend.
Mm-hmm.
You take that scenario and apply it to the other side. It's called a trickster spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't distinguish, and I mean absolutely know who the hell you are, because these trickster spirits are masters of disguise and deception.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only one way they cannot mimic, and that's that true energy of what the real deal is.
Mm-hmm.
And how what I call the good book of instruction, because I no longer look at that book as a holy book. I look at it because I give it its reverence, because there's a lot of truth in that book, in
Uh-huh.
my opinion, in my life experiences. Okay, I'll go that way. I'm not gonna put this out there on everybody, but I'm talking about me.
Hmm.
It says two nations can be born from one womb. So to me, that means you're going to need to absolutely be on top of your game. Because when they
Right.
say it's supposed to be a double-edged sword, it'll cut you going in and cut you coming out. I look at that totally differently than how a lot of people look at that passage. Because I look at that passage, apply it to the trickster spirit. Because, like I say, he knows your family, he knows your line and your lineage, but he don't necessarily know your ancestors. He knows
Yep.
your forefathers. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Therefore, you need to be up on who you are. Even if you can't break it down layman terms, that really don't matter. What matters is that DNA activation. When you get up there and you understand that's my ancestor, even though you ain't never felt them, seen them, what have you before, it's just something that activates within you when that thing happens. When that ancestor came and saw me, yeah, something activated in me, and it's been activated and running ever since. To
Hmm.
where a trickster can't come to me looking like him and expect me to really think that's him. That's some bullshit. I'm gonna whoop you. Excuse me. Yeah, that ain't happening. That's not happening because I already
Hmm.
know. I've locked in on that signature like a heat-seeking missile, if you will. So you got to be aware of these things when you go on messing around with stuff like that. So as we
Yep.
say it in our time, stay in your damn lane and master it.
Yep. And see, in order to be aware of, you got to be aware and know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself good enough,
Exactly.
then any
Right.
spirit will be able to deceive you. So you got to be
Mm-hmm.
able to resonate on the right spirit, and that's where people get caught up in the raptures because their spirit has been tainted with and touched by other people's, ideologies and stuff like that. To where when their ancestors do come to them and their forefathers do come to them, they don't accept it or embrace it because they fear it, which makes them technically fear themselves because to be an ancestor or forefathers to be of you and you are of them, it's the same cycle of
Right.
life. So when you fear it, you're fearing yourself technically, and you're running from yourself, and then you're running from yourself to somebody else as in hopes that they're going to be able to save you. And when you run to somebody else, that's when they can always infiltrate what you got going on. So that's why you can be deceived, and they can deceive their way into your bloodline. Because
Yeah. Well,
even
they won't conceive themselves into your bloodline. They'll conceive yourself into your way of thinking about that bloodline. Because the
that's
bloodline
what
ain't gonna let that happen. Okay. Yeah.
that,
That.
but
Yeah.
they
Exactly.
took the step forth because even if because that's at a time where you were only dating of people in community. Nowadays, you dating all types of people in this world. So inception is a mug because it's not just mentally inception; it's on the physical level now too.
Well, absolutely. This is. Having said that, Zay, this is the main reason why I'm single now. Because
Hmm.
any woman won't do. You understand what I'm saying? Because nowadays women, they don't one, they don't understand their full queenship. And in
Hmm.
order for me to go out here and work my fingers to the bones and you just fuck me over, no, that's not gonna sit well with me. I'm too goddamn old for that shit, first of all. And second of all, if it keeps happening to you, you're
Hmm.
doing something damn wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I have
Right.
to take the words of my mother. Boy, you could do bad by your damn self. You don't need no help. So if she
Hmm.
gonna fuck me up, then I might as well just fucking have my dick dangling in the dirt all by my damn self. Whereas
Right.
the other side of me begins to progress.
Hmm.
Whereas I said something some months back. When I said it, I meant damn what I said. I ain't coming back to this mother sucker when my eyes close for the last time and I take my last breath.
Mhm.
So that work is what I'm doing now.
Right.
Would love like a motherfucker to have that queen on my side. We do this journey together because if she's a real queen, then our DNAs will have reverence to each other.
Right.
But these females today, they ain't thinking like that. You know what I mean? And when you start talking to them like that, then you're the Looney Tunes. Something's wrong with you. You know what I mean? And then they have this consumer mindset. Why are
Mhm.
you building that? Why don't you just go buy it? Okay. So if I go buy it, then explain to me what I'll be missing out on if I bought it. If she can't answer that question, she got a real problem being in my face in terms of being that close to me as my partner. You see what I'm saying? Because as my partner, then she would know and understand that I'll be robbing myself of the satisfaction of building with my hands, the knowledge that I've already obtained to build it, to sharpen it, keep it sharp, keep it reverent. Therefore, it'll be on the forefront when and if I ever need it. Because the chances are, if I need it, it's to make your behind more comfortable, more queen like. So you just making my job doubly hard for no damn reason. That a reason that
Mhm.
you in her mind can't even rationalize and give me a good solid explanation. So why the hell should I do it? You
I
know, and
think.
I'll give you another example of
I,
that because the average woman wants the average man to change. So here's the deal. I don't mind change. So I need two pieces of information from you. One, what are you trying to change me to? Two, what's wrong with me now? Very few women will be able to answer that question. It's a red flag. You don't need to be that close to me. It's time to get my long handle shovel and push your ass as far away from me as I can get. Because I let you get any
mhm.
closer, you're going to be detrimental to
I think that all boils down to the level of appreciation people got for each other, whether you're a man or a female, right? Because you got
me.
women
Oh,
that's gonna give you that
absolutely.
same. You got women that's gonna give the same spill that you gave, but just in a woman's perspective. So I always tell people the thing is we tend to collect that first fish that you catch out of the sea instead of throwing that bitch back in and seeing if I can catch a bigger one, right? And that's because you're moving too quick, trying to find love or whatever you're trying to find. But a person gonna show you their appreciation within the first 30 days, damn near in the first 30 seconds. So that's when you figure
Well,
out if
I don't disagree with you. I've been there, done that. That's why I keep saying I'm too damn old to be going around on a damn merry-go-round.
no,
I'm too old
but
for
you
that,
gotta
bro.
remember it's everybody. We're talking to everybody in the chat too. But I
Okay.
believe at this point of life, yeah, everybody too old. We too old for this and we too old for that, right? But what we ain't too old for is what somebody can do. Not everybody gonna be able to fill in these damn squares and boxes. Not everybody want to be a motherfucking queen. Somebody want to be a handmaiden. Somebody want to be a seamstress. Somebody, you get what I'm saying? It's different levels of who, what, and
Yes, I
where.
do.
And
and that
I
and that and that's where you need to put your big girl panties on and state XYZ and stop playing with me because I'm far from a child. I laid it on the table what I want, what I expect. Don't agree to it if that's not your plans is and what you want.
but
That's
that
all I'm saying. Just
but you're
come
right.
come
Though.
to the table and lay it out there. This is what it is. So in other words, if you all you want is some dick every now and again, say that. Don't sit up here and have me thinking that I'm some goddamn boyfriend status that I got a damn chance and all you want is some dick, maybe a couple of dollars here and there. That ain't what the fuck I want to do. And you know that. That's why you'll fucking lie to me because I'll send your ass walking because I fear that if I deal with a woman on that level, the one I that's really gonna benefit me and we're gonna benefit each
Mm-hmm.
other, we're gonna have that symbiotic relationship amongst each other, is gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
And that chick is gonna destroy it all. So my logical thinking, stay prepared for her. When she comes, I can receive her. I can't be no more clear than that.
No, you clear. No, I believe the same thing though. But like I said, I believe it works on both spectrums. Cause
Yes, it do. Because hey, there's some women out there can't deal with my ass, and I understand that. I'm crazy than a motherfucker. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But I'm crazy in a way that you ain't never seen before. Because I get out there and build some shit and be like, "What the fuck you build that for?" Just because I could. Y'all don't know how many
but why do you
apparatuses I
label that
built that I
crazy?
know that's useful. Excuse
Why you
me?
label that crazy?
Because that's how society would label me. I don't think I'm crazy. But in
But you're
order for
not.
me to relate to
I know.
society,
But
that's the
listen.
first thing that. Hmm.
But listen. I think that's where the world be going wrong, right? And not because you think that and society think that. I just think that since that was planted in people's heads, that's where the world go wrong. That's why people are not prepared or set up in survival mode because they're conditioned to be, consumers. They're conditioned to go out there and buy this, that, and the third. But that's why I keep telling
Well,
people stop seeking the consumer and look for the builder like you. There's a difference. There's a difference between a woman that can cook from scratch, and you know what scratch is, right? We're not talking about putting a can of beans and cutting up some
yes,
bell peppers
exactly.
and onions.
Bro. I cook for myself. I cook from scratch. I'm a country boy,
So
so
that's what
yeah,
I'm
I know what
saying. So,
scratch is.
but see, you got men that'll
Yep.
think, oh, you got men that'll be like, oh, I'm a builder, but he out there getting a girl that's a can good girl. But you knew she wasn't into building. Right? It's little things that people are gonna show you to let you know, like, I'm not the one. I'm not the one for you. It may sound good, it may feel good for the
Yeah.
moment, but in the long haul, come on now, how long do you
Hmm.
want to eat these pork and beans at the can?
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And not everybody is on the level
Yeah.
of a
Yeah.
sense of
Yep.
expression because we always
Because
forget. Uh huh.
yeah, what I'm saying comes from experience, and I'll give you a real life situation that happened to me. I was
Mhm.
dealing with this one chick, right? She loves shrimp, and she eyed with pasta. Okay.
Mhm.
I was living in Florida at the time. What did my crazy ass do? And she had no clue about this because I wanted it to be a total freaking surprise.
Mhm.
I had tailored made a white wine for that particular meal. I
Mhm.
made my own pasta from scratch. I
Mhm.
cast the damn net and caught the damn shrimp.
Mhm.
Made my white sauce, the whole bit, the garlic bread, the whole damn thing. We
Mhm.
sat down when she came in and we ate. And she kept questioning me, where did I order this from? I ain't ordered from nowhere. I cooked this. You know how I get down. I mean, she says,
Mhm.
I know you can cook, but you ain't cooked this. Yeah. All right, look at them pots. Look at them pots. Did that look like something that was just poured into them pots to make you think? Or because she could cook too. She couldn't fuck with me, but she could cook. And the
Mhm.
fact that she can mess with me or not is irrelevant. The thing is, she starts an argument and get pissed off at me because I prepared a meal that she thought came from restaurant. Instead of her hooking up with me
Mhm.
and we get in that kitchen together and I show you how this thing gets down, you want to get mad, get an argument going for what? Why you want to lay in this bed and make war instead of getting in this bed and meet me halfway and we make some damn love up in here? That's what I'm talking about. There is no need
Because
for that because
there was already
we need to be
competition.
complimenting each other, not sitting up here with this goddamn competition. That's not a partnership. You see what I'm saying? Because we need to compliment each other. So when you need me, there's not a time you called I wasn't there. When I rarely call you, but when I call you, I expect you to be there and have my back. Not because, oh, I just
Right.
don't feel like it. That's some bullshit. You understand what I'm saying?
But
That's gonna make
James,
me
that's
strip
what I'm
your
telling
ass
you.
down.
You be missing the pre-warning. So when she was already questioning you when you was eating, right then and there, in my mind, I'm like, oh, she not a good cook. Because a good cook can taste the difference between restaurant quality, canned good, frozen, and
And like I
dehydrated,
said, she
and
could cook,
from
but she
scratch,
couldn't mess
right?
with me. But again, this is just my
But
experience to
I don't
what
be giving
brings
people
me
that
to
many
the
props though.
conclusion.
I don't give people that many props because
Okay,
if
all
she
right.
can cook
Some
and
of us
couldn't
are
tell the
still
all
learners.
from scratch,
What can I
her
say?
palate, her
I'm not perfect.
her palate. Listen, Listen, ain't nobody perfect, but I'm saying the person palate ain't up to par for y'all to be saying, "Oh, she can cook and you can cook, but she can't cook on your level." And that's already competition right there. That's already competition. I always tell people find somebody that you're not competing with. First of all, I like to usually find people that can't cook because I know I can cook. So when it's time to learn how to cook, they sitting in the kitchen to learn. They're not sitting in there trying to compete like, "Oh, because I do this, I do that." Y'all got to remember, anything is a hint of competition. So if you ain't ready to compete, stop finding people that's doing the same thing you doing. You got to find people that's
Well,
going to
Zay,
add to what you're doing. So maybe you
you
like to
are
cook.
100% right. Okay, damn right, because I like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now as far as the cooking goes, it wasn't a
Okay.
competition with her. Like I said, she can cook. She's, in my opinion, she's a good cook. But there's a difference of a good cook and a great cook. Not saying that I'm a great cook. It's just that that scratch old something always tastes better because you don't. It's not something you slap together. You understand what I'm saying? I took my time with that, starting with the wine because that took the most time to make. So that wine had to be at perfection, and in order for me to go ahead and whip that meal up, because I can whip that meal up in hell in an hour. I have everything done. You understand? I'm talking about making the pasta, catching the damn shrimp,
Mm-hmm.
freaking making the white sauce, the whole bit. In an hour, I will have it done sitting down, table set, ice chill. I mean, wine chill, the whole bit. You see what I'm saying? I'm not expecting her to have that level if that's not what she wants to do, if that's not her desire, because she can cook well enough to satisfy me. It's just that if I get a taste for something specific, then I know how to get up off my ass to go in that kitchen and prepare it. Rather she want to learn it or not, rather she wants some or not. If this is what the hell
But
I
see,
want, I'm going in there, I'm going
that's
to get it done.
that's 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 new age, James. That's new age.
No, that's
That's just like
called
if you're
living
not pleasing
single
somebody
for
sexually in the
quite some
bedroom, they can always
time.
step out and go get it done.
Well, no, 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 no. Hold on.
No,
Wait a
we're
minute.
not
Wait a
talking
minute.
about. We're not.
Pump your
No.
brakes. Pump your brakes. We're talking about
Oh
food. We ain't
Lord, we
talking
just
about
made
sex.
a left turn and went down a dead end street. What just happened?
Okay? You understand
Look,
what I mean? Because look, in that bedroom, you
no.
can't be having no
I'm
Oh
badass
goodness.
attitudes. You
saying no.
understand what I'm
Listen.
saying? Because look at here. If she never cook a meal for me a day of her life,
No, I'm not.
I ain't gonna lose not 1 ounce of weight. You understand what I'm saying? But if I be a dickhead and go in here and make her clink clink up on the poom poom, yeah, who fault is
Okay,
that?
but
That's
wait,
mine. It ain't our fault. That's mine for being an asshole.
but look, I don't understand why couldn't y'all just eat and
no.
the clarity was I made the meal. What was the big dramatics behind that? I mean, I don't even know how that turned into a situation.
Exactly why I got rid of her behind because that was unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you did the right thing.
You see what
That
I'm saying? That was unnecessary because I look at it. See, my thoughts at that time are
But I'm
lining with
saying
your
you. I'm
question,
saying
Pop Pop. Is that was that if she will do
uh,
this over a meal, what's going on in my mind that I feel I need to stick around to see how far she would go? That's some bullshit. Get your ass up from out of here, ASAP. Now I ain't throw out on the streets because I was raised better than that. But yeah, you got to depart from me because that was my shit. I didn't go live with her. She came and stayed with me. So that was my shit. So you got to go. And I made up my mind way back when I was in my 20s. If I live with a woman, we gonna do two things. You gonna move, I'm gonna move, we gonna get a shit together. If I come with you or you come with me, then both our names gonna be on that lease. You is not gonna have me coming home from damn work, aggravated as hell from them folk on that damn job, and my damn key don't work, and my shit sitting out in the rain. That's some bullshit. Oh hell no. I've offered too much, worked too damn hard for that bullshit. Excuse my expression, but I'm
all
just saying,
righty,
no, that
all
ain't happening.
righty. Well,
So so
they got
that
a
so
short
that way,
down.
when you
That's
decide you want
bullshit.
to dial them three numbers, I got just as much weight to stand on as you do. It ain't your word against mine. Now you got to prove what come out your face, because I'm damn sure gonna back up what come out of mine. That's just
James,
the way the law works.
oh my goodness.
Yes. What happened?
I don't know. They almost sounded like chapters of the real stories.
Well, I don't know the real stories because I ain't watched television in umpteen years. Be honest with you. I know you probably talk about a reality show or whatever, but yeah, I ain't watched television in years, to be truthful with you. But I'm just saying, it's these past experiences that got me to the point now. Hey, look, this is how it's gonna be, or kick rocks.
Okay,
Period.
that's fair
I ain't got
enough.
time to be playing. That's I'm not saying that I was better than her or she was wrong or I was wrong or what. No, what I'm saying is these experiences I've had in the past with women, even women with children, in which I was helping them
I
take
feel like
care of
that's
their kids like they
respectful
mine.
though.
Well,
Zay,
these are the
Zay
type
started
of
this.
women look at men like that as suckers because average man ain't trying to take care of another man's baby. But it's what I feel for her that that's part of her DNA. How am I going to do that? How are you going to sit here and understand your ancestry versus your forefatherism, and then you go do some retarded mess like that? That's contradictory because what's above so is below. And that's what I was saying earlier, to where these queens ain't understanding certain things to the
Mm-hmm.
point that the men that do, and not all men understand it either, but the ones that do, they ain't having that. You gonna stand in your queenship, or you put your little girl panties on and go back over there sucking on your mama titty. Get away from me. I got work to do. I don't need you underhand and undermining what the hell I'm doing, because I ain't coming back to this fucked up ass world. I got to get my inners right. How they say it in the Christian world, you better get prayed up. Yeah, well, I got to take care of business on the other side. I ain't coming
Mm-hmm.
back.
I think it all depends
I
on
don't
the mindsets of the individual. So if you a king, seek a
exactly,
queen. Don't seek a
exactly,
princess unless you
exactly.
are a
That's why I don't
prince.
play
I
with
think
them.
that's where
Like I
people get it
said before,
confused.
just my luck. I have a little bit of fun with this, whatever. I ain't gonna get into that. And
Uh-huh.
then the one that I've been pairing this seat for comes. That one gonna mess it up. Always happens that way. That's history. You can learn a lot just by looking back in history. You go back as far as you want or as shallow as you want. There is a lesson, there is a pattern repeated that takes place. If you don't learn from that, okay, that's on you. It's not like the knowledge isn't there. You just got to learn
Mm-hmm.
how to recognize it, to be able to apply it in your own life and discipline yourself to make it happen. Everything comes in due time. And the universe ain't gonna hand you nothing you ain't ready for. So I guess I ain't ready for that queen that
Mm-hmm.
I've been preparing for. Okay.
Salutes to you,
Hey, I ain't come.
Serata. Thank you for joining us, sis. I appreciate it, and I'll be in touch with you soon. Thanks again, and have a good night.
I hope I'm not running people off. Maybe we need to change the topic or something.
Serata said it's her
Yeah.
Hello.
bedtime.
Okay. All right. But that's
Wasn't he
all. I mean,
running
I
the
try to
running,
live a
James?
simple life.
You and they talking about. You told her to go put
You,
her big girl panties on and go to sleep.
Hey, ain't this the grown folks hour, the grown folk
Mm-hmm.
lounge? Ain't we all grown up in here?
I mean,
they
yeah. I
thought
mean,
this was
everybody
they
got
thought this was the conscious channel.
way of life that they want to live
It
and how they want
turned
to come
into
to their ideal.
XXL after dark.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You
I
you
got a little
started out
carried
on the
away,
conscious
but
foot. You was on a good foot at one
well,
point.
no,
Then
I
it went
didn't. No,
to
I didn't. I started
titties
out on
before
that
the
earth shit.
bed.
It didn't get that deep. You talking about the,
Nah, y'all good. It
Hold
did.
up.
it didn't get so bad where I get a
He took
strike,
it
so
to the
we good.
king, all right.
We good. We good.
Nah, I ain't trying to
I
get
meant that
nobody
said
striked up.
You know,
when I
it's good.
said this is the Gab cast and this is the house where you can come in and kick your shoes off and make yourself at home. So I can't contradict that statement. So that's fine. That's how you felt at the moment and you expressed it, and we good with that.
All right.
And then nothing
But
wrong with it.
my goal wasn't to run folk off. My goal was to give people something to think about. Because our time is changing. It's changing fast
Mm-hmm.
and it's changing in a detrimental way to a certain way of thinking. And the longer we, hold on with everything we got to that consumer mindset, we're gonna fall right for whatever they're planning with
Mm-hmm.
no hedge for your own survival. And that hedge for that for your survival is that old school knowledge,
Yeah, but
doing
I
what
think
you can for yourself.
but the world is changing though, James. But I think the truth is a lot of us are so indoctrinated in our past, we're gonna have to die out for those ideologies that we have to pass on. I think it's hard to adapt to the new ways. Not necessarily in specific what you were saying, but I'm saying people as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
We like the
yeah, I
mojito.
agree with you because the media has a lot of brains, man. They got them captivated, So you're right. It's going to be hard to those people to release that brainwash, if you will, if you even want to call it a brainwash, and look at the reality of things. You know what I mean? Because there are some people that don't see a shortage just because there's stuff on the shelf, not paying attention. The other shelves is empty, and the ones that have something on them, all those items are pulled to the front. It's not filled from
Mm-hmm.
front to back. You know what I mean? And some of them not even, looking closely at the fact that a lot of the merchandise we're buying right now is the merchandise that's been sitting out there in the bay on these ships for who knows how long.
Yep.
This is why I made that statement before. When you buying stuff now, you look at it and examine it very closely because not all of that stuff was kept under ideal conditions. So you disregard that damn expiration date and start looking at the condition of the merchandise that you're buying.
Correct.
But they so stuck on the consumer mindset that okay, well if the date says this and it's cold out of the refrigerator, it got to be good. Yeah, okay. Okay. Eat it if you want to. You know what I mean? So
That's
why buy the yogurt? In my opinion, whereas if you go get a gallon of milk, all right, you can make yogurt, you can get you some cheese, a couple of type of cheese actually. You know what I mean? And depend on the
mm-hmm.
quality of that milk, you could get yourself some butter too. And still have milk to
Mm-hmm.
use for whatever you use milk for. And this is something that I've been doing for years because it's not the fact that I was broke at the time that I was doing this every time I went shopping or whatever. I do little things like that to keep my skills
Mm-hmm.
sharp because I never know when I'm going to need it. Like canning. Yeah, I could can. My
Mm-hmm.
thing is water bath
You're right
canning.
about
So I don't sit up here and can a year's worth of daggone food, but I will can me up a little this, a little that, just to keep my skills sharp. So when I need those skills to depend on, I got them, and I don't have to go through a learning curve. Just give me what I need and let me get it done. If you want to learn, all right, pay attention. I'll explain it to you step by step as I'm doing and
that.
getting into other things because there's other stuff. Because I didn't always know how to dehydrate. I didn't even
That's
always
true.
know how to dehydrate in a way for long term preserving. But this is a trial and error, which
All that
bangs
shit.
back on what I was saying before. When you go get that land and it's the perfect land for what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's still some
Mm-hmm.
trial and error you got to go through in order to dial things in. You know what I mean? So you like me. I'm an experienced gardener, but experienced gardener, I'll be a dang on fool to get a piece of property and plant X, Y,
Yep.
Z and expect that I'm going to get 100% harvest from whatever I plant. Something out there might not agree with whatever the condition the soil may be. It may not even be the soil. It could be the weather. Anything. You know what I mean? So you gotta, account for these
No.
things and be able to put things in place to counter whatever it is that's stopping you from producing whatever you want to produce
Yep.
to make your family survive.
Variables.
Right, exactly. Because it may not even be a factor of none of the above. You just need to get a
Mm-hmm.
different variety of that particular plant will solve your problem.
You
You
right
might
about
be
that one.
better off with a
It's different
45 to,
variables. Yep.
yeah. So no matter how the ball bounces, it's still some trial and error you're going to have to go through. And the way I would do it,
Mm-hmm.
I would stay on that land for a year before I start doing anything beside clearing. And that's for a reason. The reason is something called muscle testing. And what muscle part of muscle testing is to see what naturally goes on that land through its various changes. So where does the water collect and run to? If it does that, when
Mm-hmm.
you get a torrential rain, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? How does the plant react when you get some hot weather for a prolonged period of time? And there's a whole slew of situations. But if you gathering
Mm-hmm.
this information, that'll pretty much tell you how you need to set that land up. So if that water naturally pools up in a certain area, that might be a good area to have a pond. And then you could build around that
Mm-hmm.
pond for other things. Your animal structure, where you want your house at, and yada yada yada. However you want to set it up, where your garden going to be at, or whatever. You know what I mean? So there's natural phenomenons that happen on that land that you could take
Yep.
advantage of to the point that it's not so much work you got to do to dismiss what's already going on the land and totally create what's yours that you want to put there. You're gonna work your daggone
Yep.
self to death because it ain't no joke developing some land that ain't nothing never been on before.
Mm.
It's quite a bit to take into consideration to the point that you also need to learn certain things because there are electronic ways that you can find water, but there ain't nothing wrong with learning how to draw find that water as well, which is a more reliable way, in
Yep.
my opinion. That's just my opinion. You see what I'm saying? Because as the old folk used to say when I was a kid, if
You
you
can say
hold your
that
mouth
again,
right,
right?
they'll they'll tell you where that water is and how deep it is. Even a simple pendulum can tell you that, as well
Mm-hmm.
as those draw sticks. And it's just these little things. Well, I look at them little. They might not be little to other people,
Correct.
but these things that can be used for your benefit.
Mm-hmm.
That you're not so reliant on somebody else's whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
their handout, their money, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Do that daggone thing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Some lands, okay, got trees on it. They might not be suitable to build your house, but it's suitable to put a fence up around the property or around your vegetable garden or build a pen for whatever animal you decide you want to have, even if it's a dog,
Like a sword.
because they're useful too. And things like it's a lot that can be said to
Especially if
to
the
go
power grid goes
along.
down.
Well, yeah, where's your array going to be located at? You got to figure that out. You don't want to put it where the water going to pool up and you got a daggone pond
Mm-hmm.
under it. that ain't gonna fly.
Very much so.
You
Yep. The beagles keep out of the rodents.
right? Beagles will too, but something in the
Mm-hmm.
terrier family will do a better job
No, I just I'm done.
because that's in their blood. That's what they blood's for. I mean, bred for. But as the beagle, it's more on a hunting thing. So that
Nope.
beagle prep will be better suited to tell you where they are versus going in there
Nope.
and
All you gonna
getting
do
it.
is just
Them carriers,
flood
that's what they.
your land. Mhm.
How will a beagle flood your land?
Mhm.
Now, when you said beagle, you weren't talking about the dog, the beagle hound, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. How is that beagle gonna flood your
Yeah,
land?
the beagles were basically bred to do all the they were basically bred to do all the for all the burrowing animals like the mhm.
They were specifically bred for rabbits.
Yeah.
Dogs like the wire hair
No,
terrier,
I'm talking about
and there's
we were talking about
other
the water about the flood and the land part. I think my the
Hey, salute,
microphone
conscious
is
moron.
skipping part when I said it. I was
All
talking the
right. It's
first half of the conversation. I was saying about when you said yeah,
Zay, you breaking up a little bit, I think.
I think it's a
yeah,
delay
because
on
it's
my
like he
side
stopped
or
talking.
on your side.
Nah, I can hear James. I just can't hear you.
Salute conscious
Salutes, conscious
moron.
and divine warrior. Salute, sis. Ooh, yeah, it's been a
Is it a
Nobody.
delay
long.
on your side, popcorn, or you can hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Yeah, I mean, when you saying
It
something,
might be
you
my
sound
side.
good. It's just that all of a sudden you just stop talking. So I
All
don't know if
right,
your mic cutting out
hold on.
or whatever. So
Hold on.
it doesn't. So
See?
what do you think, Pop Pop? We need to get on another topic, or you all right with this or what? I mean,
No, y'all
Y'all can
you're
hear
the
me
host.
now.
cool. Uh-huh, we can. You didn't say anything out of the way, James. You fine. Even when you said that, I just think that they
Oh,
were,
yeah.
really interested in when we were talking about CERN. So when we kind of got off topic, but that happens on panels. It's like, sometimes we don't always stay
Okay.
on the same
Well,
topic. So it's okay.
I'm willing to learn about CERN because from
Yeah,
my understanding with
I think
CERN,
it's the
it's
lay-in, whatever I'm saying.
well, that's what I was trying to say was that machine CERN can do a lot of things. So anything pertaining to CERN, I'm all ears because I don't know that much about CERN and I want to know more because it's a serious machine and it can be a dangerous machine according to how it's used. To me, CERN is like electricity. It's neither good or bad, but how you dare go and use it will determine one way or the other.
Well, James, I didn't necessarily mean we had to go back to CERN. I was
Well,
saying
we
that because
don't.
a lot of them are gone now.
Okay, well, I'm sorry I ran folk off your panel. I
No,
mean,
you
off the
did.
chat,
You
off
you
your
fine.
channel. That wasn't my goal,
Listen,
you
you're
know.
fine.
So, okay, all right. So, what do y'all know about, microgreens and sprouts? Because in my opinion, that's a powerful practice that could be the difference in life and death, or fresh food and stale food, stretching your food.
I'm sorry, you guys hear me walking with these clunky heels on.
So, what's up, Zay? You there?
No, dang.
You breaking up or something, bro?
Oh no, you good. I was telling people earlier that's one of the best things to be able to grow. Or yeah, you can hear me. You can hear
You
me.
cutting in and out. I can hear you now.
I don't know why I keep cutting out. Hold on. I don't know. It must be breaking.
Say, I can actually hear you.
It must have cut me out.
Say, we can hear you.
All right, you can hear me now.
Mhm.
I'm gonna just refresh. I'll be. Oh, you can
What
hear
the
me?
fuck?
Asking that over and over.
So
But
it's on
anyway,
my
Say,
so
end that
I
say,
you
was.
keep cutting in and out.
but I think he thinks that we can't hear him, but we can actually hear Zay at one
Well,
point.
the thing with hearing Zay on my end, I can hear him fine, but he just cuts in and out. That's the only thing on
When he
my end.
started talking that
So
time,
I'm
he
trying
was
to.
when he started talking that time, he was fine. So I don't know if it's his reception, maybe, possibly. But what's going on with the microgreens? And we can start that topic.
All right. Well, the most important thing about the microgreens is that in the stage in which you eat them, rather you allow them to go to greens or you just consume them as sprouts. The way I remember the nutritional value in it is to think of it like an egg. So it doesn't matter chicken egg, duck egg, whatever. That egg has all the nutrients that growing embryo needs until time of hatch. Then it's going to have to start eating, what the world provides for it. So along those same lines, there's more nutritional value in sprouts and microgreens than the full grown version of that same plant. So you can have them on a microgreen or sprout level ready to eat in a matter of a few days versus a whole season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that could give you fresh, highly nutritious food in a short amount of time to eat by itself or to pair it with something to stretch whatever you had.
Yep.
Another vegetable, meat, however you eat. You know what I mean? It can stretch your food and still give you that nourishment that you need. It gives
Yep.
you a slew of vitamins, trace minerals, regular minerals, all of that. And you can have them done really, really quickly to the point that, okay, if that's what you want to implement into your practice, for example,
Mm-hmm.
a pound of seed averaging $16 right now. There's some that's more, there's some that's a little less, but they're averaging around $16 a pound. And if you buy 4 pounds, 5 pounds, or something like that, the price is even cheaper per pound.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get small seeds, say like some type of green, arugula, broccoli, whatever, something in the brassica family, those seeds are small, so a pound you will get a hell of a lot of seeds. And you don't have to get seeds strictly for that. You can go to places like Whole Foods or Sprouts or someplace like that that has organic produce, and you can get you some lentils. There's a lot of beans in a pack of lentils that can
Yes,
give you an
sir.
awfully lot of microgreens and sprouts. So you don't always have to go that route as far as the marketing part of it. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
look up in the store, you're gonna average $16 a pound for microgreens. Depending on the microgreens, some more, some less. So I would recommend for people who don't know about it, I would recommend doing sprouts first because it's easier. And I would recommend getting a variety pack that I have seen on um, Amazon. So you get like 4 different varieties or 5 different microgreens that you could try out and see which one you like best. And then go stock up on the one that you found that you like. Or you could go cheaper than that, go spend you a couple of dollars and get you a couple of packs of lentils that come in different colors because they do taste different. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorites, so I can tell you that. So my favorite happened to be the orange ones, but it's not the only one I like. The green ones are good too. I haven't tried every color out there on the microgreen level, but those are the two. Those are my go-to. I have those in jars right now. So that's what I would recommend. Try a little of this, little of that, until you find the one you like, and then go stock up on it. Because
Yep.
a 1 pound, it just depends on how many you got to feed. For example, because the micros, greens, and the sprouts alike, as far as a culinary standpoint, it's a lot you could do with it. You could eat them
Mm-hmm.
raw just like that. You could throw them in the salad. You could saute them. You put them in a soup. It's so much that you can do with them. You could do more with them than you can with a green, collard green, mustard green, whatever kind of green.
Now, when you say
Greens
a
you could
couple
do a
of
lot with.
days, when you say a couple of days, you mean 2, 3 days, 5 days?
It
People.
varies, depend on it. It really depend on what you're growing and
Mm-hmm.
how you're doing it. You
Okay.
see what I'm saying? Because when I say ready to eat in a couple of days, I'm talking a couple of days past your germination.
Hmm.
Because generally, sprouts, for example, you want them to get about maybe 2.5 to 3 inches tall because it's a sprout. Microgreens depend on what it is, because some microgreens you can eat them at that same height as well, but on average, you want them to be 4 inches or better. Whenever you do it, get it before the true leaves fall. Then you'll maintain your nutritional value. Because once it starts its true leaves, then it begins to lose its nutritional value. And proof of this, if you're raising a garden, rule of thumb. Different plants, the rule change a little bit, but generally, rule of thumb, when your plant begin developing its true leaves, it's time to feed. It's
Mm-hmm.
no longer, it's either no longer or it's at the end of its own nutritional value that it holds for its growth, because it takes some energy to push up through the ground and so on and so forth. You see what I'm saying? So
Correct.
on the microgreen level, you want to use pack. I'm not pack. Very loose soil, even though some people may wrap a brick or something like that or a rock or something in aluminum foil and lay it on there to mimic a natural, the conditions a seed would be under in the wild to make it push
Mm-hmm.
up. But when it starts to grow, they'll remove it and then they'll let it grow to whatever height that, depending on what it is. And the best way to do it, however you like to eat. So I would recommend doing a tray and just try it at different stages and see which one you like the best. And
Yep.
whichever one you like the best, then that's the one you don't let it go past that point. Kind of like okra and some other vegetables. It's not really when they get ripe. It's a matter of when you like to eat them, because they will change as they get older or bigger or whatever. So you got to, that's microgreens and sprout. You catch it at the time you like to eat it, and keep in mind, the younger you get it, the more nutritional value it's going to have. And sometimes you might have to let it grow a little bit because you got to feed more folks, so you have more food available.
And you remember back in the day when they used to have the chia pets?
Right. Yeah, I do.
And I be
Yes, you
telling
could do
people
it
like,
with chia seeds.
you can still do that with your chia seeds, you can still
Yes, exactly. And I
do
got the big square jars that Walmart sells that peanuts and cashews come in.
it. Mm-hmm.
Well, I got a jar like that, nothing but chia seeds for that damn reason.
Yep. And they
I
grow
get in the pinch.
fast.
Yes, they do. Yes, the Dickens they do. And there's so much you could do with chia seeds too, because if you put a little bit of water in them and just let them sit for hell as little as 10 or 15 minutes, they're gonna gel up.
Yep.
And they use them in certain recipes for alternative things, like folks that do that keto diet or whatever.
Hmm.
There's a whole slew of desserts that they use that mixture as their base.
Yep. It's a lot of different things.
All
And
kinds of stuff.
that's why I always tell people when I say like stock up, I'm always talking about like, the staple ingredient stuff, like stuff that you can make
Right.
a lot of stuff
And
with.
there's nothing wrong with that because you're gonna need that too. But there's
Mm-hmm.
ways to even make those staples more
Mm-hmm.
nutritious. For example, you can sprout beans, dry beans. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to sprout them to a plant. Just
Yep.
let that sprout. Just soak them beans and let that sprout split that bean, and that sprout get maybe a centimeter long or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, you have just boosted the nutritional value of that bean because it's more digestible at that stage, and you can extract more nutrition out of it. And in that stage, it doesn't take as long to cook. So you're saving on your energy to cook beans.
Yep.
And you could do the same thing with some rice. Some rice from the store will sprout.
That's a fact. Because if you ever been to like a rice garden before, you'll see the rice is sprouted there.
Yeah, because um, you can sprout rice real easy in a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of different ways. You can wet a paper towel method and put it inside of a Ziploc bag or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
or you can soak that sucker in about a quarter inch of water or something like that for a few days, and that sucker will start sprouting.
Mm-hmm.
You know that good rice, not that plastic shit they sell us from China. And some folks don't realize that that white a lot of those low end white rice is plastic.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't fucking real food. That shit's plastic. Then they
Yep.
wondering why we over here getting sick with diabetes and all kinds of crap going on. The food's killing us. Believe it or not. I mean, I ain't here to make anybody scared or nothing like that, but the facts are the fact. The food is killing them. And I don't understand for the life of me why in the hell United States let the biggest pork producer be bought by it ain't had to be China, by any damn body that another country. That's our food supply. What the hell are you selling that for?
And the
And make
chicken,
it so bad.
the
They
chicken.
mail, I mean mail. They ship the freaking meat all the way to China to be packaged and ship it back.
Yep.
What? How is that sanitary?
And then
Oh,
think,
I don't
yeah, and
understand.
think about the time span of going both ways. Just
Exactly.
during the last.
So
Hell,
how fresh is
how
that
if
meat?
they make plastic rice, how is that even trustworthy?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That
Now you
plastic pork
starting to
ain't
see.
coming back.
Okay. All right. You know how many jobs we lost just for that operation? And who is to say? Because there's no literature or anything written that I was able to find as to who's raising that pork until it's time to be shipped to China for packaging. Are they bringing their people over here and they're doing the work? Are Americans doing it? I can't find nothing on that, no information about that. So being
Mm-hmm.
that I can't find information, chances are their people are doing it
Well,
because that's their normal practice when they do things in other countries, especially in the motherland, Africa. They'll bring
mm,
their people over and do stuff, give the Africans a little of freaking nothing, and then tear their land up and make it an environmental hellhole. And then they take the goods and everything else and take it back to their homeland. That's
mm,
normal practice for them folks when they work outside of their homeland. It's
understand.
crazy. I just don't understand how in the world the United States was able to allow something like that to happen.
Let me see. So I
And
think
who knows what else? Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think. All right. So the meat farms that's still under them is still the same companies like the Gwaltney brand, the Eckrich brand, and all those brands that you see that's on
Hmm.
import. So they still do all the slaughtering and stuff there, but they don't do their own packaging anymore. But that still don't make
No,
sense to
not
me because it's like, oh, okay, so you just cut the packaging out, but you still got to package that shit up to send it over there. But I guess I don't know.
yeah, but they don't necessarily have to though, because you could send it the way um fishing boats do fish,
Mhm.
whereas they'll put it in a giant bin, probably put a brine on it or something like that, freeze it,
Mhm.
send it over there as a block.
Yep.
But even then, the meat is losing so much nutritional value that way. Even if they did package it, the package is not going to be as good as it would be if they were to sell it. Because if
Yeah.
they're gonna, if that was the case, then why even send it over there? Do some type of contract for it to stay here so that they can vacuum seal it and get it out there, label it, and whatever else they need to do, and get it on the shelves.
I know why they
Whereas
send it
that's
over
a
there.
job for Americans.
They send
Why?
it over there because we don't have the ink, so they can stamp it with that fake ass USDA stamp on it.
Hey, as mediocre as that may sound, it's very well
Mhm.
plausible because this is a country that don't make shit no more. There's very
Yep.
little things that United States produce anymore. That's why it's so easy for them to give up our farmland to build a damn subdivision, which
Yep.
makes no sense. That means a higher population, whereas now you don't have the land to support that population with food and other things that a growing population is going to need. It's just not making damn sense.
No,
It's
it
And
not
doesn't.
making sense.
We've
now
gave
that
other countries
I
the
know
upper hand because I guarantee you that shit ain't in reverse. What the USA is doing that and sending it to, you know what I'm saying? With China sending it to
Mhm.
us
Right.
and we send it back.
Exactly. Because the other countries ain't stupid like we are. They ain't going to give up their resources like that.
Yep.
Period. Ain't no other country on this planet is going to give up their resources where their people is going to suffer.
Now, is it that they're
And
stupid? Is it that they're stupid? Because they ain't that stupid,
what you
man.
mean other countries? No,
No,
I
I'm
don't.
talking
I
about.
don't.
I
I don't.
said we. You said they aren't that stupid, as in we are the
Oh, as
stupid ones. And so I
on
was
a
gonna say,
logical standpoint, hell yeah, we stupid.
Mhm.
Because look, all right, it's just
but
let's
it's bigger
apply a
than
little bit of logic, and that logic is okay. Let's scale it way down. Okay, it ain't countrywide no more. It's a household. Now you got this daddy out here, got a good job, work pretty daggone hard, but instead of him bringing that money home, he got to impress the boys and go drink it up and go fuck with some hoochie mamas. Well, he got a queen at home with some princesses and princesses coming up through the ranks. What's going to happen to that household? It's the same exact thing. It's just on a countrywide scale instead of a household.
Mhm.
You don't take care of your people home, and you want to take care of every damn body else except your own people. Your own lineage failed to exist at some point.
But that's the whole point of us is we not considered a country. We more so considered a corporation.
Well, you're right, but what does that make us?
Slave.
What's
We
in
just
common
inherited a
with
corporation.
every corporation? Every corporation has a workforce.
Right, and then think about it. So when Amazon collapses, what happens to the employees? They go without. That's us. So that,
Unless they multi-skilled and can get a job in another field.
but that's what I'm saying. So we need to be multi-skilled and to not dependent on the food collapse and the pork collapse and the this, that, and the third collapse, and we can be doing that shit our damn
Well,
selves now.
this is true, but you got to understand how the laws and ordinances and everything else is structured in this country. They're
Right.
structured in a way, like for example, there are places. Growing your food in your backyard is against the law. There are
Right.
places gathering rainwater to water your land, whether it's food or not, is against the law.
Mm-hmm.
So does that sound like a government that's really want to support its people?
No, but
Exactly.
that sounds like a
Which
people that got
brings
to become. It sounds like a people that got to become smarter than the government. Like, of course, during the T Act and all those damn acts, they were
I do
underground.
not.
Go ahead.
Okay, what I was going to say was I do not disagree with you,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to understand the whole picture of what's going on. And there's things that's taking place in sectors
Right.
that's all going to come together in the end. Whereas social media got people thinking that everything is going to be fine.
Right.
There's people that don't think there's anything wrong with our commander in chief talking to the whole country, and that fucker fall asleep in mid sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people that don't see anything wrong with that.
Well,
You know what
that's
I'm
That,
saying?
because
It's so
you got to
that,
much
that,
remember.
wrong that's going on that people just don't see. They don't want to see. They want to stick their head in the damn ground like a freaking ostrich. But at the same time, those who do see that's trying to step up and prepare and do whatever they can to ease that blow so that they can make it through it. You understand what I'm saying? You
Right.
got these brainwashed idiots out here that's freaking yeah, they using us like they're going video game. They're planning on trying to kill as many of us as possible and step in and
Mm-hmm.
take our props, our preps, or whatever. Yeah, okay, all right. We smarter than that. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with you trying, but we're smarter than that
Right.
because it's you don't need firearms to kill a motherfucker. Excuse my expression, but like the
Mm-hmm.
old saying goes, it's 8 million ways to kill. Choose one.
What you need to be doing is
And
building some damn traps in your front yard, because a firearm don't have. People keep underestimating the type of things that's out there. What's a firearm? What's a
exactly.
firearm to a magnet? What's a firearm to a laser? What's a firearm to a drone? You get what I'm saying? It's like, so we underestimate, and
I
we.
get exactly what you're saying because in essence of what you're saying, and in order for a firearm to be effective, you got to see your target. Those
Mm-hmm.
other forms of weapons that you named, you don't necessarily got to see your target. All you got to do is know it's there. Laser,
Yep.
for example, it'll cut a damn house in half if it's powerful
Mm-hmm.
enough, but it has that capability. You,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily have to see your target. You just got to know it's there and
Yep.
do some damage. Yes, I mean exactly with the magnet thing or whatever. That sucker can project a projectile with so much force and power behind it. You would think it's a 30-ton TNT when it hits its target.
Yep.
Then
And
ain't nothing explosive about it. It just got that much energy in that magnet projecting it. Same thing with the rail guns, which does it
mhm.
by electricity instead of magnets.
And you want to know how they was using this technology way before? Because if you go look at some of the old military bunkers that they don't go to anymore, why were the
Mhm.
weapons chained to the ground? Because of the
Because they had such power.
hmm
Yes. When that rail gun kicks off, man, a mule kick ain't got nothing on what that thing can do. And the reason that
hmm
it never made it into production in terms of a weapon used to protect the land is because of the cost to produce it.
right.
But if you scale it down and use it on a more personal level, if you will,
hmm
all you need to know, you don't need to know every little aspect about that system. You just need to know the important thing,
right.
and it will work to serve your purpose. Let them
hmm
send an army if they want to. One man can give an army hell. I ain't gonna say he gonna walk out of there alive because we talking about highly trained people that has capabilities a single person don't have. For example, they could do a airstrike
Mm-hmm.
No single person could be at two places at one time, which
Right.
again falls back on what I was saying before in terms of the family reconciling their damn differences and be a unit.
Right.
It's going to be the difference in death and life. All of this stuff plugs in. It's just a matter of people understanding the magnitude of the seriousness of the situation. It's just not
Mm-hmm.
enough people that is there yet. I'm not going to say that they're stupid or they're dumb or whatever. You know what I mean? Some people are just so damn busy because that's just the way our society is set up that they don't have time to smell the roses. Some of them, not all of them, but
Yep.
some of them, because there are people out there that if they understood what you and I understand and other people in the community, even though we understand different things on different levels, but if they
Mm-hmm.
had a certain level of certain understanding, they would make that time and make a change because they know the magnitude of the seriousness of the situation that their whole family is in jeopardy.
Right. And that's the whole
And I
purpose
think it's
of networking, building a network.
yes, but the thing is with networking, in my opinion, is just as dangerous as it is good
Mm-hmm.
because
Everything
you
is.
you have infiltrators. You get
Mm-hmm.
I have met people, and this is no bullshit, that knows what I know and a little bit more, but
Uh-huh.
they're against it. You see what I'm saying? They'll sit here and elaborate with you all day long, even give you ideas, might even help you out build some stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? And all the while, they are against the whole total freaking idea.
Mm-hmm.
There's people like this.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And being that they know the mindset and how the community thinks makes it that much easier for them to come in and infiltrate and
Right.
carry that information out to their side.
Mm-hmm.
So all your vulnerabilities, they are going to know. They're also going to know what you're doing to cover your vulnerabilities that you know about. And he damn sure ain't going to tell you about vulnerabilities that you may not have thought of.
That's why you always got to stay on your what? Your square. See,
Yep.
it's sort of like how the
Yeah.
military move. The military understands that they can be infiltrated at any minute, right? But they
Okay.
understand that that one infiltrator can't stop the show. Whether he bring 10 more or 10,000 more, they still got to be prepared for an infiltration because that's a part of survival. You always got to have that part embedded in you because you never know when somebody can turn. So
Well,
it. Uh huh.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I was just gonna say it would be detrimental for a person to not include, the fact of knowing how infiltration works. Like these are all like things that you should be training on and practicing and getting your mind and your skill sets ready for because that's just like a person that's a prisoner at war. You got to be prepared
Okay.
for
And I agree with you 100%.
it. Mhm.
But there's also a scenario that comes up often that people don't know certain things
Mhm.
to where these infiltrators train them to know certain things.
Mhm.
And if he's an infiltrator, he's going to train them specifically so he could walk in and walk out with least or no resistance.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
These people that don't know certain things that's being trained by these, or at least informed by these infiltrators are training them in showing them things in such a way that
Mhm.
it's little to no resistance for
Right.
them to come in and wipe that whole family out or that whole community out.
Mhm.
Just like that. You know what I mean? Now I'm not saying that, that the people can't regroup and begin to see that. But when you're in a situation like this where there is so much to learn on so many fronts, you can't thoroughly cover everything.
Right. And that's
Whereas
and
the
it's
military, on the other hand, all right, like you
mhm,
said, they anticipate this. They also have the personnel to cover that. They got
mhm,
enough personnel that they can send people on the front line knowing damn well they ain't coming back. They're
mhm,
used as a peon so that they can advance their forces and take over a
right.
section or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you're dealing with a family or a small community, because that's what these communities are, they're
Mhm,
small because there's so many different trains of thoughts. A military breaks their people and they
mhm,
build them back up to think a specific way so that
right.
they can get in line and follow orders without too much backlash.
Mhm,
Whereas in a small community or even a family of any size, there's going to be some back and forth going
mhm,
while they sitting there bickering. That enemy done advanced.
mhm,
You see what I'm saying? And the civilians don't necessarily understand that because they don't know how to think on the military level. They've never been broken. They've never been sleep deprived and gone through various vigorous modes of training to be able to
mhm,
deal with that. This is why you take two. All you need is two well-trained military soldiers could take over a city. And how many umptinks and millions of people's in the city, and all it takes is two soldiers to take that whole city over. That's
mhm,
some serious training, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Not only is it serious training, it's a level of intelligence average people don't have.
mhm,
Whereas, okay, average person don't know how to hack. A
right.
well-trained soldier, he could tap into anybody's phone and get insight on any structure he want to know what's going on the inside.
Uh-huh.
Without the person holding that phone won't even be the wiser as to what the hell's going on. Oh, my phone got a glitch or whatever. And you know what I mean? He might even turn it off and turn it back on and think nothing of it. And he got eyes on the inside, ears
Right.
as well. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? How many civilians know that? There are some, but it isn't many. And more of the ones that do know, they on the criminal mindset. So
Mhm,
therefore, those are the ones that's coming to try to take away from the hard work and that prepared. That's
mhm,
why they ain't preparing because that's their plan to come and take from those who have.
mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
All
who?
right,
How
we ain't
many?
gonna
How
give away.
many?
We ain't gonna give away too many military secrets. I don't want to be on the terrorist list.
But hey, I'm just saying, and the only reason I know this is because, well, I come from a military family. I wanted to be part of the military. I went. They wouldn't take me. All right, but I damn sure was going because hey, I got uh, generations and generations in my family that's been in various branches of the military. So I do know more about the military than the average person. And you know, there's bits and pieces. Now, I'm not saying that I've been through basic training and all of that, but I've been through bits and pieces of training from every single military branch United States has. So
Mhm,
certain things I do understand. And my training didn't consist of combat, but it was the discipline part of it and what you can physically do out there
mhm.
running damn 6 miles. I would have never thought in a million years that I could run 6 miles in one clip. But at one
Listen,
time in my younger life, yeah, I could.
Black
well, in
and
my
the
older life, I started getting sleepy at 11 o'clock. We
Greatest.
have had an awesome build, and I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, James, for coming on because I've never seen you on a panel before. And
Mhm.
Well,
you
actually, this is my first. It's my first
okay?
live, my
All
first
right.
panel,
Well, we
all of
broke
that.
you in
I,
because
You
we
did
we
good,
3 hours.
James.
We 3 hours in, so you comfortable now. You can bounce around
wait a
YouTube.
minute, hold up. I've been up here for 3 hours on this panel.
No, you
Mhm.
haven't, but I'm
You've been
sure
for
at
two
least.
hours.
Okay, yeah, two.
Oh shit, damn. Well, y'all forgive me. I
Mhm.
didn't come up here to run my mouth for damn 2 hours.
No. This been great. It wasn't like you were just up here talking about nothing. So you brought a lot to the panel.
Mhm.
You've been a wealth of information, and we really appreciate you. We look forward to you coming back. Because some of the people left, and it's getting late. So but talking about the microgreens and things that are so important right now with what we're going through, food shortages, we needed to hear that. So don't ever
Right,
think
right.
that people left because you weren't saying anything important. People got to probably go to work tomorrow and things like that. But no, we enjoyed you. I enjoyed you thoroughly.
And
And
popcorn. I was gonna ask, maybe
uh-huh,
that would be a nice little build to do with James. Is
uh-huh.
touching on like the survival part and like that microgreen part too, and elaborate more on it because OG Leo and all them be interested in all that type of stuff.
I thought OG Leo just wanted to make some smoothies.
You can put microgreens in your food. Go ahead.
I mean, as far
Okay,
as
okay. Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah. But I wasn't sure.
isolated.
Hmm. I'm sorry. Go ahead, James.
Okay, but not isolated to microgreens and sprouts. There's a lot of other things that you could do to have something growing. Like,
So be
okay,
certain.
for example, those little spring onions you go get out the supermarket that come in a little bundle with a
Mm-hmm.
rubber band around.
They grow inside
I
the
mean,
highway over here.
look, you could pick them up right now. You catch them on sale, get you 4, 5 bundles or whatever. You could throw them bad boys in the ground. Clip the tops off of them like you normally do. Just don't go into that light green part. You just clip that dark green part, put them suckers in the ground, and water 'em, and they'll start growing right back. Clip them again and let them grow. I got one in my garden now that's been out there since last season, and I'm letting the reason I didn't attack it is because it started to bud out. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to get them seeds. And I still planted a few more, not a whole lot. I mean, I don't plant a whole lot of anything because it's just me. Now, if I had, like other people, where it's okay, for example, I got grown sons. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
they want to listen to me instead of listen to their mother, then yeah, my garden situation would be totally different because now I got my sons and their families to provide for.
Mm-hmm.
So that garden is their classroom so that not only am I going to show you how to do this, you'll be able to do it for your family as well as do it as the whole family.
Right.
So, in other words, you grow some things to take care of the immediate for your family, but this plot over here is for all of us. So, whatever you ain't growing, this is what we're going to grow on this plot. And just so we have some backup, your brother going to grow this and your sister going to grow a little bit of that. So, if something was to happen to either one of our gardens, we ain't taking a whole hit. We got
So
some redundancy going on amongst us.
so before we go, I want to get a little clarity if you can help me. So what distinguishes someone between a gardener and a farmer? Is it the paperwork that you file with the municipality, or you know what I mean? And I'm asking
Right,
because
right. Go
and I'm
ahead, because
asking
what?
because there are some grants out there, and I don't know if they're open right now, but I came across a grant about a year ago, and
Uh
it
huh.
was like it was for people that were interested in becoming, well, interested in agriculture and farming. And so on the apprentice level, if you could find a farmer, you could do an internship with them under this grant, and then once you complete it, they give you enough money to start your own farm.
Hmm. Okay, I've heard various things about different legalties along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
However, I've never done any research on them to say,
Okay.
but outside of the legalties in terms of action, there's a big difference between a gardener and a farmer because there's a lot of things a gardener can do that's not pliable for a farmer to do.
Okay.
And
And I thought it would be the
I'll give
opposite.
you well, because okay, most gardeners, all right, the reason that they have a garden is to save money, not only on the purchase of their produce, but the purchase of what they need in that garden. So, someone like me, for example, who pretty much is a very different gardener than most people, because I ain't going to the store and buy crap. I got everything going on around me that I can make it. I can make fertilizer. I can make compost. I can mix certain things together and have my own mix of soil and so on and so forth. Because I've been doing things like that across the country for years. You see what I'm saying? So I would more or less fall under either a natural grower or some might even classify me as an organic grower. So your practice would be different. Now that's not to say that you can't farm with these practices. It just has to be totally different than how normal gardening. I mean, I'm sorry, normal farming practices is done because those tractors, they're heavy, they pack soil. It don't People don't wouldn't think that because they're plowing the land at the same time. But it's a thing called a hard pan, and that hard pan takes place below the surface. So when you farmers water their land, their fields, that water doesn't sink into the ground depending on how old or how long that farmer has been farming in that same exact area, running heavy equipment across those fields. So that water doesn't return back to the aquifer. It hits that hard pan and it runs off, creating erosion, which is a lot of issues that big farmers are dealing with, erosions. So that's why they starting to get into different cover crops. Whereas these cover crops require less machinery. You're still going to need the machinery, but they're not running over the land as often as the traditional way. So when you use these cover crops, they're doing a number of things to the land. Like ice crystal, I believe is the name of it. But if it's not ice crystals, iceberg, ice something, it's a giant freaking radish that grows in the neighborhood of a foot or more in length and probably 4 to 6 inches in diameter. It reaches down and it breaks up that hard part of that hard pan, at least the beginning of it, and makes that soil nice and soft. Other cover crops, they add certain nutrients into the soil that they don't have to spend so much money on buying fertilizer, especially now that we're into this inflation thing where everything costing more. So it's cheaper for them to buy seed for these cover crops to be able to continue to meet their quota because farming is a business. Gardening, it's either a hobby or a survival thing. So it's a lot of differences in how it's operated and how it's done. But you can do a farm on organic practices. You just going to have to do everything differently in terms of making compost. Whereas Zay was saying earlier, networking. Now that right there, where networking is very beneficial, because now you can go hit up places like breweries, supermarkets, and the list goes on to gather your material to make your compost with. And then as far as money goes, being that it is a farm and you got to do things on a bigger scale, because you're talking acres now, it's worth it to go buy certain types of soil amendments to amend it into your soil or into your compost, or even purchasing worm casting from a reputable company. That's where the return is going to come back because what you're doing is something that doesn't necessarily have to be done every year. Some of these things will last you 2, maybe 3 years, depending on what you're planning. And then you can also take up the practice of cover crops, whereas you let certain plants put certain nutrients back into the soil. And that's what stops a lot of your erosion because a lot of amendments is organic material. So you creating a microbial city, if you will, in your soil that's alive, well, living and breathing. Whereas traditional farmers, they're actually killing the soil. They're raping it, literally. because they're only concerned about three nutrients, and that's N, P, and K. After that, they don't really give a damn. So that's why you're because it's a business. It's all about the money. So that's why a lot of these vegetables, even though they're bigger and they look good, they're not as nutritionally dense as an organic version of the same exact produce, because nature provides 18 to 23 different levels of nutrients. Farmers are only concentrating on three. So how in the world is that produce is going to cut the mustard in terms of human health? And then the backside of that is that runoff, because now you're packing the soil, you're making it more or less a sheet of metal under sand, if you will. You pour water in it, it drains right down, hit that pan, and it runs off. So now you're depleting the aquifer, because most farms they have wells, most of them,
Mm-hmm.
or they're getting their water from another natural source, rather it's a river, a lake, or whatever, a reservoir, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't getting their water from municipal sources, municipalities, excuse me, or whatever. So yeah, on that part, yeah, it's a lot of difference. Yes, it's doable, but it's one of those things that it can be done in a number of ways that if you have partners, you all got to be on the same page, because that's one of the things that I feel, in my understanding, why there's a few people that don't have much faith in me in growing,
Well,
because they
I'm glad
don't.
you said
And
that.
it,
Let me interject. Let me interject, and
okay, please do,
we're
please
gonna
do.
end on this note. It's such a shame because you're so knowledgeable, even though you are a gardener or a grower. I want to use the terminology correctly. That
Hmm.
um you aren't considered a farmer, and perhaps, and this is not a question because we're gonna end here, and perhaps when you decide to buy that land, it'll be acres, and possibly you can take on an apprentice that can utilize those grants, and I'm sure that you'll be able to be compensated also. I'm not sure exactly how the program goes, but this conversation will be continued because this was great. Salutes, question everything. This was great, and you're a wealth of information. And we'll get started a little bit earlier where people are awake and they are paying attention. But again, I think that you will make a great farmer, and that people can utilize those grants as apprentice under you as a journeyman,
Mm-hmm.
to become a farmer. But on that note, again, we're gonna close out. It's been really, really great. We definitely want you back, James. But I'm getting ready to retire for the night. And Love Zay, I appreciate you so much.
Yep. Salute to
I
everybody else
understand.
there. Salute to James. You definitely got to come on back because we're going to hear
Hey,
you out
question
there.
everything. Yeah, we get ready to close out. We've been at it for three hours and 32 minutes.
Blues question
All right,
everything.
all right. Yeah, I mean,
All
hey,
right.
I'll definitely come back. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
I
yeah,
need to do some
we
research
enjoyed
and
you on
stuff
the
like
panel.
that. Okay, I'm
We,
glad you did. I mean, it's my first time being out here on the in the public like
yeah,
this.
you're a regular.
Okay,
You're a regular. So hey. All right. So you guys, thank you guys for joining Popcornologist Gabcast, and we're gonna sign out.
We out, y'all.
take care. Peace and
All
blessings.
right. All right. Salutes. Take care.
All right, take care. Salute.